Waiting for everything else to go live. I'm the host. I'm Brenda Jane Power, Dr. Brenda Jane Power of Metaphysics. And we are streaming to YouTube. So if you have any questions, then you can ask them here. All right, I believe I'm streaming on a few places. Just have one more to stream, and then we can start the show. I say unpin, and it won't let me. Hi. Just waiting to start on YouTube as well. That's not the prices. I don't even understand why that pin won't come down. I can't change it. But that's okay. That's okay. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today. Within 20 seconds, we're going to begin the show. So if you got questions about spirituality, relationships, how do you cope and deal with your emotions, this is what we do. Hello, hello. Got 8 more seconds. Hello, this is Dr. Brenda Jane Power, and it's a doctor of metaphysics, and it's about what is the nature of being? How are you being? In this day and age, new things have happened in this world that has caused you to, maybe have more grief than you need, more mental stuff than you need. Maybe the drugs aren't working anymore, and I'm not talking about recreational. I'm talking about maybe stuff that you got from prescription, and or you're looking at life differently and you're just not happy, or you're looking for the happiness, or it just seems to be just out of reach. Throughout my years, I have felt that same way. Oh, Newfoundland. Wonderful. Welcome. If you're new here, you can get a free reading. But first, you have to let me go through the spirit speak part, because this is important for spiritual people that are working on a soul level that want to grow. And for years, I always felt like, oh, it's these thoughts, these emotions, life is just getting to me. Why does life have to be this way? Oh my goodness. And because I asked the question to my soul, I really wanted to know the answer. And when the answer came, I didn't shun it away. And I started to look at it as a very opened eyes, and that I'll go down this avenue. And, we're made of energy. What? It's like, what do you do? And for me, I just know that I wanted to be happy. I wanted to have love. And I kept having a belief that it wasn't there. Why? Because the outside constantly was proving that it wasn't. It was always this stress, always something I had to do. I had to be this, work hard, do things, take care of the kids, blah, 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 blah. And, women were full of hormones, and, we always get these jokes played about us. But when you're stressed, and you have to do it alone, what do? You feel like you're crazy, to the point that at one point I was communicating, and the next thing you know, I was gaslit so hard that I didn't understand. And my body started to feel like, oh, this is a new normal. This is the way we have to be. There's no way of getting out of it. This is what you want. And I'm like, I love my family, and I'm not changing it. And so therefore, it must be my fault. It must be, something wrong with me. That's what I was told. And that I need to just, buck up and get my crap together and don't think about it. And it's hard to do when you're 41 thoughts per minute. And if they're not in that heart-brain coherence, then it can't help but to go over the stress to the point when you fall asleep, your dreams are doing its best. Your soul is doing its best to help you resolve this stress. And so after so many years, I finally decided I'm going to really dive deep into these answers I was getting. That's what I was getting, was answers. And then the first when I started to apply healing tools, it was like, okay, this is great, but then it's stupid and then it's embarrassing. And then what I started paying attention to is these thoughts. And if you're new here, you can get a free reading about, and then a healing tool to help you process these emotions. And some of these thoughts could have been intrusive. Some of these thoughts where I had beat myself up. Some of these thoughts were from really old stories. And a lot of them were assumptions, conclusions. This always happens. Here we go again. I can't make this stop. And I tried something different. And it's like, wait, why is my thoughts? And so I started studying people that have been here before me. You have Dispenza, you have Greg Brading, you have Dr. Bruce Lipton, you have Carolyn Mace, you have Donnie Eden, and the list goes on and on and on. So I started to apply the tools, and I started to apply them in a way that I said, I need to understand the backstory. So we all have we all have gifts, and we're believed that, well, oh, it's only a few. No, you can develop. Everybody has them. You just have to develop them. Hi, Ontario. And again, if you're new here and you want a free reading, you just stick around. What does it mean by a free reading? These are people. This is energy that we have around us, and sometimes we can't hear. We don't know. We don't understand. And it's called the scalar field. It's called the aura. It's called many things, but I can read these energy fields like when I'm looking at a computer screen. Your energies just hang out there. And what will happen is whatever's happened in the past, if it's not resolved, then it'll just basically, with your anxiety, you'll look at it in the future and then you'll walk right into the same story. So what we want to do is we want to create a disrupt pattern. You do, not me, you do. You need to learn the tools, and they're not hard to do. And when you start to notice that we are just really emotional chemical peptides and we can use ourselves to help heal this, yes. So there's not just resolving out the emotional chemical peptide and get clarity. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, just watch some of the old videos I have on YouTube, and you have to look under Medicine Woman Soultion. That's Soultion. Yeah, guidance. Wonderful, Sheri. Wonderful. Okay, just hang in there a little bit because this first part of the show is very important. Because this is the part that's called Spirit Speaks, and this helps people that are on their journey of noticing that things are so different than how we used to live. And the kids coming in think differently, but it doesn't matter. There's a part of relationships, everything's shifting, and that's consciousness. So the super consciousness is coming in. It's always been there. We're now learning that we can listen to our soul. But these emotions, yes, emotions get too intense. Sometimes paranormal things happen. Okay. And that is the farther you drop from your whole self and you're in that separate state, then what happens is that you're inside the program. And the program can only create with inside the program. And if fear is the only energy that you can pick up from, then it's going to snowball. But I can help you understand that by moving the energy, changing the brain waves, you will then be able to tap into this love energy that's there, that's in the quantum field. And if you start shifting that energy in your brainwave and you start moving the energy in your body, you're going to have help. You're creating help for yourself. Now, that's that first important relationship is to you. But when you are so inside this program, inside this snowball, inside this hell, then you can't create a heaven on earth. But there is this little ray of hope. But you can't see it unless you start to go, I'm done with this. I'm done with the familiarity. Because see, when we start to get out, we're going to go, but this is hard. And then you want to go back to what's familiar. And then you go back into your hell. No, I want you to heal these emotional chemical peptides. I want you to create a new way of thinking and being that allows you to say, I don't need to be that anymore. I can create something greater than what I used to be. I don't have to believe these negative emotions. I really, really don't. You understand so far? So this is about the relationship between you and your soul. This has to do with your relationship of who are you when the outside affects you. Because epigenetics, anything that's going on in the physical body can get disrupted by how the outside is showing up. But when you start to notice that you can be in charge of your world, your inner world creates your outer world. So if you have a belief or an assumption or a conclusion that you live by, it becomes part of your GPS. And you'll keep seeing the same story until you learn to disrupt the pattern, until you learn to take and just break down and resolve to evolve those emotional chemical peptides so you can see greater than the program. Okay. And when you have to change your routine of your life, you will get what's called the path switch. As Sheri says, a lot of intense energies the last few years, I can relate. Okay, so here's the thing. When the universe is presenting itself and the collective on the world or where you live or your culture, super consciousness, we're returning back to love. We are consciousness that happens to be inhabiting a body. And we have the emotional and mental body to play with in order to create a world that we want. But we have for so long played with the archetypes of the pimp and the hoe. Always somebody putting the dream in our head, gaslighting us to say this way, to parent us to the point where if we don't, we have these reward and punishments. And we're at the stage that when our heart starts to get more involved, when you begin to fall in love with love, not love is messy, love is this, love is that. No, what isn't love? And when you start to really appreciate what isn't love, you're going to go, that's not love. Then you can take your energy back and make a different choice and say, no, I'm aiming for love. You are going to start to respect yourself, love yourself, but it's in the moving of the energy out of the frontal lobe. It is in the moving of the energy in the body. So the body doesn't say, we have to show up this way because this is what they expect. And what do I mean by that? Have you ever gone home? Have you ever gone home and you all of a sudden go back into the teenager or the little girl and your parents are your parents and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a grown up. Why is it that we always have to go back into this routine? And that's what we have to do. We have to go inside and we have to evolve these particular storylines and where our energy was left every time we had hell or fear or any of that or awkwardness or we've never encountered this before. We don't know how to react. And so that reaction is the reaction we take and we have a pause. So we build these strategies of how to live, how to socially be. There's a problem. These programs run us as we get older. By the time you hit 30, you've already memorized yourself, so nothing new can happen. But that's where you wake up. That's where your consciousness is. You wake up and you're like, whoa, I don't have to absorb everybody's stuff. I don't have to do everything. I don't have to live by these rules that I have to be perfect and do this and do. Stop. I need to create me. And that means that you start to involve yourself in the equation of your life. No one else is born in that body but you. So when you start to develop yourself, this is why the show is on once a week. I used to be twice a week. This is why we talk. This is why I have all the old videos up, because it's like when these emotions are present, she says, I have a hard time as an empath with others' energies. I used to too. I have the trifecta, but you don't have to once you start to heal. You is the consciousness that's running this form, and you understand how to run the energies and how to observe and look. You no longer have to be the observer that absorbs. The first 7 years of your life, you are doing just that. You're observing and absorbing everything in your environment. So you know how to be this little human. And then you copy it from 7 onwards. You sit there and you replicate what you've learned. And then by the time you get your hormone stage, you're supposed to break away further. But yet, if you have been knocked down so many times with trauma, drama, or any of that passive thing, then it's hard to get back up. And when you have had that relationship where it's like you have to forget yourself and attach yourself to me in order to receive love, then it gets very much a programmed life. I want you to wake up and go, wait, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want these emotions anymore. And I have a whole bunch of free healing tools. And this show is about teaching you how to use these. And I have a tribal that we do in depth healing and talking so that you can see the world differently instead of having to repeat what somebody else. And because we keep borrowing, constantly borrowing. And is the fact is do we really need to borrow? Do we really need to borrow? Okay, so this meme says, and I like this thing. It says inner boundaries for emotions. What we think the emotions is here is to do. So the emotions is I'm unlovable, and then it has content. So this negative emotion has content. She's upset with me because I won't do this, and we're inside going, get back energy. I hate you energy. Oh my God, I don't like these emotions. And some people sit there and go, no, that you need to look at this and say, wait a minute, we don't have to call it the enemy. Let me tell you, you created a shadow. The moment that you were being cute, and all of a sudden somebody comes along and says, I don't do it that way. That's wrong. And they give you that energy. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, you cut that part of yourself out. You squish this part. You put on a mask to give them what they want, and the pressure to always be what they want. But the problem then is because that heart, that part of your heart that you had to shut off, shut down, and push aside, you don't even know how to even connect with that piece of your heart. And it is. You want to sit there and turn around and go, emotions, thank you for letting me know that I have separated. And you're going to learn to embrace. But emotions aren't just to turn around because these chemical peptides really can make and screw with your head. The healing tools that I use, and you can ask any of the people that come onto the show, you can watch all of the shows. And what you can do is you can begin to understand that it is like this here is called OMG. You're touching this particular part, you're touching this hairline, and you're touching these emissaries, these points here. And when you're holding this with your hand, which are electromagnetic, you're bringing the blood back up. And if you sit there and go, oh my God, this is a 10. Measuring is a big key for a lot of things. And if you measure and you measure and measure, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, it's not a 10 anymore, it's an 8. How's that happening? You're healing yourself. That's a simple tool, but you can focus. What am I thinking about? What's the content? And then you can measure that. But do you have to believe your own BS? Do you have to do this? Now I'm trying to figure out if there I am. Okay, I didn't think I was live on YouTube for a second there. So if anybody ever, there you guys are. I don't know why it didn't pop up. Hi, Toby. Fancy way of writing my name. That's kind of cool. Yeah, April Thor says, and I couldn't even see my hidden programs. Thanks, Spirit, for Dr. B. Now we can own, not only we now, okay, I can't even read it. But she got some hashtags, and hashtags are important. Don't waste it, paste it. That's what that is. I will use key phrases. But as you move along life, you've got to say, I'm done. I'm done. I've had enough of this mental shit show, this emotional stuff, this relationship to this environment, this relation. A lot of you don't even know what an intolerance tube is when you have a relationship with another. And that is when you go inside your program and all of a sudden you start to get irked at the thing that they're doing that you thought you loved, and now you can't stand it. And every time they do it, you just build that hate even more, and you stuff that intolerance tube to the point where love was the message, now is not, and you can't do it. And then we say we have to constantly be this way so we don't grow. That's the problem, is our soul wants to grow. As a human, we're meant to grow. We're meant to be. Okay? So there's a lot of things that is happening. I want you to understand that every time I come to here, I'm here to help you understand that you are in charge of you, that you can be in charge of these emotions. Like, for instance, well, I don't know what to do. Measure that, write it down. Can you wake up enough to know that you're an emotional shit show? How many can do that? Yes, yes, yes. Give me a 1. Shout out as a 1. Yes, I can do that. I can see when I am in a mental, emotional crap show. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. And so give me a 1. Let me see if you're all listening. And then we start learning and paraphrasing. So when you hear, yes, I can recognize. Now, once you recognize, are you able then to say, I'm going to like put a reminder up. Okay, put my hand on my head. Can you put little messages, little breadcrumbs, little signals that can help you come back from where you are from instead of going to the brink and diving off? Can you remind yourself, your super consciousness, that you can be in charge? Thank you. Here comes the ones. Good job. That delay is really long, that leg. But you're in charge. So sometimes when you get into that, you don't have to do the same thing. You can put up little signs, say, do EFT, like EFT, or you have, you got this. Don't waste it, paste it. Resolve to evolve. And little signs. You have to help, because when you are in a shit show and you keep doing the same thing as you've done before, that's insanity, because you're always going to get the same result. But you have to step in to understand why I don't want this anymore. So you have to have a new goal. And then when all of a sudden you start to feed yourself, that is listening to healing tools, listening to successes, listening. Maybe you're not a meditator. Well, I will tell you, this is a new way of doing it. You don't have to constantly meditate. Meditating is great. I use all the tools in my toolbox. But what I've learned is that sometimes you need fast aid. Okay, there's a faster aid than that. Okay, there's a faster. You can Wayne Cook. You can do Celtic weave. Kick people's energies out. I teach people how to kick people's energies out and to rebalance yourself and rebalance your brain and protect your orb. I help you help yourself. When you start to go, okay, that worked. Now you have to witness. You have to understand that you got somewhere. Because if your ego is going to put you right back to sleep, your program is going to put you right back to sleep, and then you're not going to see any of your progress. The one thing that my students do, begin to see their progress. They only measure of who they were a day before, the week before, 5 years ago. They mark their progress. Okay, I'm still doing this, but I'm better than I was before. How do I know that? Because I used to be that, but I don't identify with that as like that anymore. I do see that I keep talking about, I always lose my power when this person says this. Well, then we can look at this. We can break it down. We can measure it. We can use different tools, SP, source success, EFT, moving energy. You can do work, certain work, wakening up work. This here communication is a part of the soul work, because you're allowing this new information into your space. Now, if you're just going to put yourself back to sleep, you're going to have to decide, because sometimes your soul is going, hey, I want something more than what I have. And again, if you can recognize, I want something more than what I have. This is great. I thought it was great. I want this. No, I don't want this. I want better. So this or better. But if you think this is crappy right now, maybe you're not even aware that you can't, you're like, am I talking? What? No, I'm always happy. No, that's a generalization. But if you were to really measure, are you really happy? Well, I'm mad at the kids. The house is always dirty. I'm always stressed. I have no time for myself. And then when I finally chunk out the time myself, somebody always comes. That doesn't sound like you're happy. It sounds like what the idea is that I have kids, I have a house, I have a husband, or I've got this, and I'm happy. But if you really were to assess, I'm not happy. Why? And no matter what age you are, you as a soul are always repeating the unfinished business that you did in your youth or in your past life. And when you look at it from the conception to now, you have all of the things that have been gathering, and it's inserted, and you'll have certain points in your life, marking points, that you'll see. Have I passed the test from when I did it before? And all of a sudden, something bad will happen, and you don't react. You don't even realize it. You passed. If you're sitting there in your reaction, your emotional chemical peptides, your programs are running you to react that way, to be that way, to restrict and to judge, then what happens? Then what happens? You just didn't pass the test. Maybe you've gotten farther, but you have more perspectives to look at. You have to look at more perspectives. Okay. And this is what I do. I love to help people see where they are. So your soul always knows where you are. So if you've been hanging in there, I can give you some free, for those that have never had a reading before from me, you get a free reading. And that's what we're going to start to do. Now, again, we have where you can come on. I don't know why I cannot get that to unpin. But what this is that it's, if you wanted to come on to my show, I will send you a link, but you have to go to Facebook, Messenger or Facebook, whatever, and look for Medicine Woman Soultion. That's Soultion. And then say, yeah, I sent money through PayPal. Because I live in Australia now. I'm an American that lives down under. I can only go through PayPal. That's paypal.me/reading11, send in USD. You get a chance to come on the show. But if you don't want video, you can have audio, and I can help you work through certain emotions. Especially if you're stressed, we can use a fast aid, and then we'll have you hold other points to process out. Chat. That's, you ask in the chat. You're like, hey, I'm going to send you $15. I have this issue, help me out. Now, if you were looking for a PIF to pay it forward, let's say you don't want, but you want to give something to somebody else, an opportunity, we play something called the duck race. And people put money into this so other people can play. Okay. And so when you are in, like, if you're sitting there going, oh my God, is he cheating on me? That's worry and fear. That's being in the program. That is, you're not being in charge at all. This is where I would tell you to heal that pain and that suffering so that you can rise. Because if you rise and all of a sudden your brain is feeling clear, if you're always using cheating or fear and worry as because they're going to leave you, then you start healing abandonment. But if you begin to heal out that, no, I really feel like he's never done this before, but this is just strange signs, then you heal it out because maybe you've grown or you've grown separately. Maybe you've built up in the intelligence tubes. Maybe you lost the way of communication. And what I also like to teach is down the road, you have this relationship, okay, with somebody, and you're like, oh no, I want it to grow. Do you, or do you want it just to be in that complacent part of you so neither one of you grow? But you're going to become uneasy. You have to learn to grow together. Like I have this wonderful husband that, well, we've decided when we got married that we're unpacking our baggage. We're going to be hugging ourselves and putting the pieces back together. But anytime we come together where we're not in that love space, we say stop, we're out of sync, and we're going to go heal in our separate corners. This isn't about building, a weaponry and having a fight already figured out. We don't do those types of things. We sit there and we get into the emotion. We sit into that storyline. We sit into it until it's down to zero. And all of a sudden it's like, it's not even about them because it's about, he's representing my childhood. He's representing somebody where I've lost power before. And now I have this new opportunity to process it out because I couldn't then, but I can now. And the thing is that if he doesn't want to participate with you and he can't be on the same page with you, start to develop yourself. Because if you choose to move forward and he doesn't, maybe you have to decide about you, and that is when a path switch comes into play. But if you already have this built up thing, but he doesn't really want to participate or change or help or any of that, he's not going to grow with you. You're going to grow stagnant. You're going to grow resentment. You're going to grow to the point where all of a sudden you could even kill yourself off, not because you did it with suicide, but because your body has been falling apart because you keep putting yourself back into the situation that your body says, I can't do this anymore. That's what my body was doing. And I thought, why do I keep telling myself I love this person? And one of the huge things I had to do was wake up to the fact is that we were two great people that just don't fit. He used gaslighting. I can't do that. And I'm not going to cut myself up anymore. I'm not talking about cutting him. I'm talking about looking at the pieces he says he hates. And I have to stop that behavior so that he's happy. No, I'm not doing that anymore. And then as I started to present who I am, he kept telling me how much he hated me of that. And yet, don't do it in front of my friends. Don't do it. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, that's what it is. You no longer are at ease, so you are at a dis-ease. And that body is trying to say, hey, I can run you 100% and be healthy and strong, but You're not giving me anything to play with. Your environment is toxic. Your environment will always affect your health. Okay. It'll always affect your health. If your inner world says, I have these unresolved issues, it's going to be presented out to you. And if you don't understand how you should show up to them, you can't learn how to hold space for yourself, you're going to create a great a disruption. You're going to create a bitch slap that you can't come back from, or you're going to live in fear more. And I'm going to tell you, if you learn how to live in your heart brain coherence, you learn how to really be in that, you can extend your telomeres. And when you extend your telomeres, that you can extend your life. But a lot of people can't stand who they are or their life, so they don't even have the will to live, because they don't know how to change the will that they invested in, that I have to always show up the way they want. There's so many delicious things that we can heal and change and grow. And I have been doing this for many years. So I'm going to pop over. Who is the first person that would like that has never had a reading before? I'd love to give you a free reading right now, but I need to know your name, and you say, yes, I would like a free reading, because I am not going to invade your space. I never invade anybody's space. Your soul, your angels, your help, your loved ones, everybody, it all comes in, and then it just like written on my screen, and then I just read it, because it is your soul saying, I don't want to live this way anymore. It's up to you. That being said, working on ourselves changes the scalar field. Yes, and the scalar field is this energy field that crosses over. So if you have, let me see if I got a good one here. Might work. Here's you. Okay. And here's them. Doesn't matter what color. And you both have auras, orbs, energy fields. Okay. But there will always be the shared space that happens. And then when this shared space happens, this is what's called the scalar field. And you will always show up the way you did before if this person has a program that says, I need someone to show up as a victim. And you're like, well, I'm not a victim. And all of a sudden this person comes along and bam, creates this energy field. And you do, but you can change your inner program that changes that relationship that happens here. So you don't have to show up the way they expect, or they don't have to show up the way that you expect. You're changing this inner world, because no one can show up to you any other way than you let them. And as you start to heal yourself from this energy thing, this programs, these asleep part of you, these perspectives that became solid. Oh, that's beautiful. Then you all of a sudden become freer, and that's moving the energy. So we have, so Sheri Anne. So again, if you all, when you get your reading, you can listen to it again on YouTube. And if you like more of this, subscribe, and then you can keep coming back. And once a week we do this. Then we have, so we got Sheri Anne. I'm going to put that in there. So you'll notice what we'll do is we'll give you the timestamp, the closest to it, whatever, and you'll look and find out. Now, you can go by the times, my clock that sits behind me, 11:34. Then you're like, okay, but the time, no, don't go by the timestamps there. Look at my clock. You got this? You look at my clock. And then we have Catherine. I'm going to put Catherine D. And so we got Cindy. I haven't been here for years. Oh, well, I'll give you a new one. I don't recognize your name, but yes, I was on Facebook for so long, and then all of a sudden I was doing my show outside, and the birds. I've got real birds, and that they're in a cage and they talk. But I also have, you know, Australian birds flying around, and Face kept shutting me down, saying I am stealing content. I'm what, from birds? Because there was no other content. This is what I do. Okay. And so we have 3 people that so far with free readings, and we do have some PIFs today. We have 4. 1 is called out for Robyn, and then 3 that is up for the duck race. So as far as the PIFs go, I see we got Crystal Allen for a PIF that, again, we'll do the duck race. So I finally decided I'm going to start going back on Facebook, because this is, I can't get anywhere else. And I miss that newness with people. I love everybody that's growing and all that, but it's like I'm supposed to do more. So the first person, like I said, is Sheri Anne. we talk about healing tools. We talk about this. Now, I don't go on and give you, a whole bunch of time, but I do my best to give you as much time as I can give. So this is what we have here. So, Sheri Anne, I'm looking at the emotion, I can't. Just the word, I can't, I can't. So, have you ever used these words in your life? I can't. Now, when it comes to doing something for yourself, I can't. And so I'm hearing, I can't. And I'm looking, it says, I don't, it's like power. Your physical power? No. In the strategy of life, I can't. So, does somebody else have the authority about helping you make the choice? So it's a helping you of making the choice. Do you have this? Do you understand? Because if you allow yourself, yes, Judie, I'll put you down. So tell me when you can relate. I know that this leg is terrible, but I will put that in consideration. So Sheri, can you connect with this? Because if you can't connect emotionally about your life, that's that's how you begin to wake up. You're like, oh my God, these emotions or these thoughts. She says, I understand. So what happens here is that I'm looking at how your liver seems to be going, oh my God, I have to put this mask on in order to be loved, or I have to put this on in order to function as in this whatever family group, whatever it is. And then I'm watching how, do you get called stubborn? Oh my goodness. Because what I'm looking at is this energy field is that you sometimes feel small, or somebody in your life, I don't know if it was work, home, or wherever, makes you feel small. They say certain words. I feel like they gaslight you. This is a form of gaslighting that if they call you stubborn. Now, somebody in my life used to call me stubborn all the time. And I says, no, you know what? You're just pissed because I won't do what you want. I am so done. You don't put me in consideration. I'm done. I'm done. And so then once I started to take my power back, they were mad that I wouldn't stay the way they wanted me to. So I started to grow. But I'm looking here, and you got to constantly show up this way, because if not, then they're going to treat you a certain way, or they're going to say a certain thing. And then I feel like you got an inner program that just puts your body in a really state of stress. So are you in stress right now? Because the amount of stress that my heart's jumping around in, it's interesting because it's just like right in the middle. Exactly. Okay. So if you're in stress, I'm going to do a couple things, because this is so majorly important. And what I'd like to do is that if you can measure your stress, I'll do a little bit of, I'll give you something that you can do for yourself. We'll do it together. This leg sucks, but this is important. Okay. She said, yes, but measure it on the scale from 0 to 10. She goes, it's day to day. Okay. And okay, it's work. Okay. So, I asking spirit to do. They're telling me that what they want you to do, because right now part of your body is we're electromagnetic, and part of it is just like stuck. Both. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take go on your left leg, left side. And then you're going to do is you're going to find your big toe, left big toe. You're going to go up where that bunion, that bone is right there. And you're going to be right here. You're going to take your hand and you're going to use palm, flip it, back of the hand, flip it, palm, flip it. And then you keep doing this for 12 times, which 24 in total. Got this? Now, what's going to do is it's going to unlock your energies, because right now it's magnetically saying this is the way it's going to show up. And the body says, I need the energy to flow. Now, when you're done, you're going to push in with your thumb, your finger, whatever it is. Don't slide it. That does nothing. You have to push in, and you have to deeply penetrate. Don't hurt yourself, but deeply penetrate. Do that 30 times. Now, while you're doing that, you're going to do that on the right side as well. Now, this is where it's going to take a little longer, but this is important because you need to have a before, a parameter, and an after. You need to know that you have the ability to shift your energy, to know that that body is able to do something that you didn't think it could do. And I will put down blue rocks for a piff. But you got to decide. You got to learn. You got to heal. You got to know when's enough's enough. But notice how the body, you see, Ray, I feel, and what the point she's working on, this is called the spleen point. Even though your spleen's up here, Energy runs in lines. Okay. So did you do it? I need to know if you finished it. No, I can do that means you're not doing it. I am waiting patiently for you to say you're going to do that because with my guidance, you're going to feel a before and after. Can you do it now? And if you can do it now, then I will be patient and I will give you extra time. Because when you start to move that point on the bottom, right there on the foot, what does that got to do with your brain? Everything. It starts to move the spleen energy, literally help the spleen. Energy will shoot to the spleen first because that's a source point. And then it'll go to the spleen energy field, which goes from, you have this from your big toe comes up and then here and down. You got to do the left side first. Okay. You want to do the left side first. Left side, big toe, right here. You can do this again and again and again and again as often as you want. But right now, as you have my full attention and I see you, I want you to know you can do you. So that means right now, I'm stressed. Okay. Once you have changed the magnetic energy and then you push in, then you're going to do the right side. Do the right side. She says, oh, I actually felt energy around up my body. Yes, because you have not had that move. From what I can feel, it has been at least 4 years that this part of your energy has been stuck. So now do the right side. And you're telling the body that it doesn't have to waste itself. It can literally rebuild and repair. You're going to have to teach it a new program and a new habit. Right now, the habit it is always to lose your shit or to always be stressed and the cells say, listen, let me tell you what this happens to the cell. This is for all you understanding. You are made up of 50 trillion cells. Okay. And in that your cell, now if the cell sees anything threatening, it will move away. So what the first thing it'll do is that it's open, it's eating wonderful energy, it's in protein, amino acids, all of its stuff, and it's working and it's doing its thing. But as soon as there's a threat on the outside, it closes and it can't take any more nourishment. But then it moves away. And your body says it's always like this. And I'm saying, how about if we give you a different story? You are now, did you do both sides? Can you feel where not only did the energy move, but can you feel your brain? Now, we're not done yet. We're not done yet because you really have locked up your spleen, which protects you. You're going to go back to the right. Use your hand again. Okay, why? Because it's magnet, positive and negative. I don't remember which way is which at this point, but I don't care. I'm trying to do a show. And once you've done that, you deeply penetrated it again. You need to unlock this. Your body says, no, 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 I have to run in fear. No, you have to show up. As a spirit being, you need to show up for yourself. This is your home, nobody else's. Your cells has your code on it, and nobody else's. Yes. Jasmine says, I haven't been on here for years. I'd love anything. Okay, so vertigo. Oh, so first of all, you need to go make sure if you can get the crystal back in your ear. I can't remember what that's called. My one friend does, I think. But you also have energy that is stuck. Now, an inner ear can be linked to, I don't know who wrote to what, to jaw joint. Yes. So if you go to any chiropractor, they're going to take and they're going to those that are trained in it will go back in there and they'll push on this joint until it releases. Your fascia's too tight. Sheri, I'm not done with you. Do you feel any difference? Can you feel the emotions? Can you feel the body? It's not just the body. Can you feel your emotions? That 10, that whatever number you said day by day because you weren't sure how to measure. You knew it was there. Is that how you knew it was there? Is it as strong as it was? Because we're looking to change the charge. So yes, it's still there, or yes, the charge has changed. Hi, how are you? How are you? Oh, Jesus, I just disconnected and reconnected really quick. I don't know if anybody realized that on Facebook. but everything else seems to be working fine, I think. Okay. No, I was a 5 and now it's like it down to a 2. You did that. You did that. Just guidance, but you did that. And I'm going to say now, if you could do, because right now your scalar field is like so full of gunk from this person. Okay. And all I can hear is, I can't do it again. 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 And I'm asking Spirit, what do you want them to do? If you were to now just take this next part, because we could really get it down to 0. But if you sat there and talk to me, I'll be sitting here. I'm going to work with another person. Is that you can go right wrist, second position deep. Now, this is your right hand. I don't know where my little gloves are at this point, but you have a right hand. And I'm going to show you again, but this time what's happening is that you're not shifting. You're working by putting the blood back up into your forebrain. The energy is to move. And you are then taking the right hand and you're going to find 1, 2, my fingernails represent the points. So I'm going to be 2 fingers away, not here, but here. And I'm going to take, and I'm going to push in deep, finger in the palm. So I'm pushing my thumb in deep. Now the heel of the palm goes to the forehead and you let your fingers drop. And you're going to sit there and you're going to think and feel. Don't go, it's because of this, because of that. No, because you're going to talk yourself out of healing. You literally are going to push in deep. And you're just going to sit with that feeling, the stress, the charge. Stay there until it feels like it's 0. Now, if you keep putting your hand down, keep putting it up. You're worth it. Okay. So vertigo in this case. So I cannot remember. It's on YouTube and shows you how to lay there, tip your head back, and slide it into place. I think even chiropractors help do this. So maybe you need to talk to the chiropractor. But at the same time, now the next person on my list is Catherine, but Cindy, I will give you a read of that too. Okay, that's it. Thank you. The Ayme Smalls wrote it, the Epley maneuver. Okay, and that helps greatly. But we're also going to look at the energy. Okay, look at the energy. So now, Catherine, are you still here? Catherine, are you still here? Cindy is already here, and Judie. So Catherine is next. Is Catherine here? We're going to find out in just a moment or two. And you feel like a fork. So did you place your hand there? Because sometimes you may have to put there for 15, 20 minutes. But understand, if you're already feeling this good, imagine if you keep disrupting the habit and the pattern and break the habit so you don't have to do that again. This is a really good feeling. That's your body's natural process. You don't need to miss this part or stop this part, or you need to discover this part. It's in the discovery is the recovery. And as you begin to apply and put that in your space and you use tools in your toolbox, you're going to allow yourself to be that little light of hope. And you're going to get yourself out of that situation instead of going back in and going to sleep and banging in the habit. Oh my God, here we go again. And you're like, no, I don't want this anymore. You can heal any fear. You can tap into and yourself and say, I'm done with that. Disruption is the key because your cells need you. You need to learn to show up for yourself. So Catherine, here we go. All right, Catherine, one of the things that Spirit is saying is that you're looking here and you're not really seeing. So most of the time you are just kind of like not really being present. There's something about I'm seeing, but I'm not seeing. Okay, Catherine. Catherine, what I'm hearing is that there's so much worry. So as you're participating, you're hearing, but you do more worrying than hearing. It's like this is a habit you had picked up from a family member when you're little. Do you believe worry needs to be a part of your world in order to survive or to create with? Just need to understand this. Because one of the things I'm seeing is that there's great contempt. There's always having to, I don't like them. Now, this includes your thought processing, whether it's being treated to you like this or you have this pessimistic view that you don't even know you have. But it is what it's doing is it also is pulling you away from your cells from being healthy. Your soul says you could be a lot more present with you. Now, you know how to be on the best behavior, but when you're with yourself and you're observing the world, Catherine, are you with me? Do you have an emotional or mental thought that just won't, and it's very persistent that we can address? Man, it's a clear connection with YouTube. This is terrible. Okay, so you worry all the time. And I'm going to tell you this. That was a learned process when you're little. Not to blame anybody, but that is what you picked up. And around 2 years old, there was some type of event, and worry was the main theme. You had picked up that you're supposed to worry. So you learned how to worry. Now, what's happening is it's not very healthy because you go, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And so then you sit there and you start to make sure you don't do that. And there's a lot of restrictions in your world. Anxiety. Yes. Do you have any anxiety right now? Because I could continue with this reading, or I can help you disrupt this anxiety, knowing that down the road you can use other tools to say, I don't need to be in this anxiety. So if you have anxiety right now, or you have a thought pattern that you'd like me to look at about the anxiety, then you can share a way and we can communicate. You're right. Jesus is love. And when you spew out hate, this is another person, when you spew out hate, you're not working for Jesus. You're working for the other. So hate, it should be love you're working with, not hate. So love and support and being there for people, that's what I believe in. So again, Catherine, can you measure your anxiety? Love only. That's right, Ernie. That's right. Even when somebody is not healthy, you don't have to give away your power. It's just everything. Okay, so it's just everything. So here, play with me just for a moment. What's going to happen? Oh, they just jumped right in and says this has to do with disapproval. You had a severe disapproval from somebody you deeply loved. Again, if it's a really bad connection, you can have a better reading or listen to your full reading online. Your name will be there with the time we started. Yeah, they said there's a great do you know what disapproval is? Do you always get disapproved of, or have you watched your mom disapprove somebody and you don't want to receive that disapproval, so you worry about everything? However this goes, Spirit is telling me that if you were to sit there and you realize I can't be me, it's about a 7 right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is, number one, worrying about everything, I'm going to tell you is that wow, you had this frontal part of your energy field is gone. So I'm just going to check here. Your main pole, one of your main poles is not even functioning. Energetically, it's stuck. So the first thing you're going to do is you're just going to take your hand, doesn't matter which one, and you can charge it up if you wish, and then you're going to put your hand down by the crotch and draw straight up, not like this, that covers too many meridians. Right in the middle, straight in the middle. So you're going to come straight up, touch the chin, rub, rub, rub. Take your hand off, go like again, rub, rub, rub. Hand off, go down again, do that at least for you. You need to do it 10 times. Okay, that's number one. Okay, number two, yeah. Okay, so your polarity is way off. But this, if when you've done this, don't wait, do it now or I'll stop. Tried to fix everything. Yeah, everyone, because your body's asking you to fix it inside. So the first thing is we have to get your energy to go up so you can start creating your aura field. Because when this is down, you're completely vulnerable and you'll have to fix everybody. But let's start putting this up. Okay. I'm going to ask you, is your spirit connected in your body fully percent 100%? Do you want to do that? No, it isn't, but it needs to be fixed, but you can get into your fixed state. So you are not even Catherine. Who are you? Are you your mother? Are you a TV show? Who are you? What the behavior is, who does it the most? Because, or who, here's another one. Who were you just last worrying about? Because when we worry about a person, when we say their name over and over, you become that person. Your field is not even yours. So I can feel it. I can feel it started to connect. So now what I want you to do is I want you to take your hand, put it on your forehead and go, and then say your name, say, I am Catherine, and then whatever age you are. So for me, I'd say, I am Brenda Jean Power. I am 57. Let go, bring it to your head, and do it again. And you, because you've done it for so long, you need to do it at least 10 times. Okay. And you're going to focus on that. And you're going to focus on that. And you're going to focus on that because, see, you got to come into this fixed state of time. Right now, you're somebody else and you're not even you're not present for yourself. And just by doing those two things alone, okay. So notice that you have to call yourself back. You got to call yourself back. You got to come back in here. And then once you've done that, I want you to really feel, do you still have the same anxiety? Because see, the anxiety is you're not yourself. You're looking over here, you're not present, you're not home. And you're looking over here and you're not present, you're not home. Who's minding the body? Who's minding the brain? Who's minding the thoughts? You need to be as a soul. You need to be. Now remember, if you're on YouTube, give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, ring that bell so you know when I'm live. Okay. Now, each of these things are important because, see, her anxiety is not even her. So but she identifies with it. It is her identity. It is they want it fixed, but then you're worried that if they don't fix it or they don't do this, then you won't know how to handle it. Well, first you got to get in here and know how to handle this. And once you start setting the tone of energy of balance and wholeness and seeing things whole, they will be able to make it whole. Yeah, you're not you. I want you to be you. You have to say, hey, hi, my name is, you got to learn to meet yourself. You got to learn to, again, if you want to help somebody, start seeing them whole, that they can find the answers. We don't have to own it. No, no. You need to learn to show up for yourself. And the old way of constantly giving your energy away or to fix something else. No, you need to come home, balance your energies, and hold the space, get back into heart brain coherence. And that helps others. I mean, trust me, because when you are holding that space of love, they're not going to be in hell as much as they usually are. Very good, very good. Unsafe childhood. Very good, very good. Now you can measure that. What number do you have? Because why should you come home? You're still trying to process as a kid. She just told herself, her little self, I'm looking at her 3-year-old self, says, I didn't feel safe as a kid. So how I solved and coped with it was to help others or to worry about others. See, no, I don't have to think about my issues. Now, this is where you're going to show up for your 3-year-old because your 3-year-old is being completely honest. I'm unsafe. Therefore, I'm going to show you my tool. Now you can wake up and go, wait a minute, I'm going to help my little. And so the very first thing that your little needs to feel is that it needs to recognize that it couldn't solve its own anxiety. Nobody was there for it. You are. You're going to say, okay, little, I want you to copy me. So you're going to imagine that you can copy yourself. Okay? You're going to imagine that you're 3 years old and you're going to say, okay, will you do this? And then she'll see either yes or no. But if she says yes, then say, okay, I want you to hold your right wrist like I am. And you're going to find that there's 2 positions. Hold on, I got to fix my screen here, or else it'll hang up on me. Not the first finger, not the second. It is the second finger, right? Is that what you want? Yes. Now it's at the bend. Not way up here. It's not way over here, and it's not way over here. It is under the thumb. Line up right at the bend, 1 and 2. Okay. I switched to Facebook. Okay. There's still a delay. But then you're going to put your thumb in the second position. These gloves are a little small, but it'll work. Push in, not the first, but the second position, finger in palm. Okay. And safety, security, and stability. Put the heel of the palm on the forehead, let the fingers drop. And I want you to just watch her feel unsafe. Say, what number is it? And she'll tell you, I don't know, it's red. Okay, it's red. We know the charge is high. Just sit there. Just sit there. Let the body do the work. You work with your inner body and you heal. Now, if you want to learn more about healing tools, we have my website, medicinewomansolution.weebly.com, and you can look under healing tools. There's a ton. Use EFT, anything else. Stay in that position, measure it, and I'll still be here, and you can report back to me. Okay. I want to go to Cindy. I want to go to Cindy and then Judie. Judie, are you still here? Cindy and Judie. Okay. And you know what? You can stop having chronic PTSD and you can then stop claiming that that's what you were, but it was great that we got the answer. Then you can evolve from it. I no longer can say I have scoliosis. Why? Because my body is reshaping itself. Okay, Judy's here, but I'm looking for Cindy. Is Cindy present? And Vic, how are you? Anybody else here? Okay, so we have Crystal and Blue Rocks for a piff. Does anybody else want a piff? Now, Ayme, have you ever found Morgan? Morgan couldn't find me. Hi, April Lynn, how are you? So, yeah, I noticed that she had a hard time finding me. I haven't seen her because I've been gone so long, but she just came in my mind. Oh, there she is. Okay, she says, I get aura vision issues. Ooh, okay, and vertigo every day. It's so scary. I've had this for years, but migraines with patterns only recently. Unsure what the aura vision is. Constant or UTI infections, just as long as it's going on. I'm changing diet and good. Yes. Okay. So as long as you start to eat more healthy foods, stay away from processed foods, those things like this. Now let's go. You ready, Cindy? The Oravision. I used to have those too. Those freaky. Now I'm looking at your body right now. We're going to look in the moment. We're going to help you do some fast states, and then we're going to give you something else. So in this case, I'm looking here. This is completely frozen. This will affect the way your eyes see. It will affect the way you feel. It'll always feel this crappiness. Now I'm looking at the other pole. The pole's fine. I asked you, who you are? Are you in your fixed state? Of course you're not. But if you saw from the last person I was working with, learn how to put yourself back into your body. Okay, to get into your fixed state. Okay, hey, Vicky. Yep, I'll put your name down. Now, what's happening, Cindy, is that I'm going to help you because this is really wonky. And they said it has been out for a long time. And I said, what would you like me to do? And they said, have her use her hand, and we're going to start with the stomach. We're going to look at the stomach. Now, we're going to go the left side, left leg, and you're going to go right on top of the foot, just before the curve, right on top of the foot. You'll feel like it's bones there. But that point there. Now you're going to take your hand, left side, and put your hand across, palm, back of the hand, palm, back of the hand, palm. You're going to do that 12 times on each side, or 24 in total. And then you're going to push deeply. Can't really push too hard. I mean, too deep because there are bones there, but do it anyway. 30 times, 30 times, and then you lift off. Okay. Now I'm asking, do you want her to do the right side as well? Yes. So once you've done the left side, you're going to go to the right side. Okay. And I'm going to sit here and be with you. You understand? I'm going to be with you. So do it and we will work together. All right. Remember, if there's any wanting, if you feel like this could be for you, you can participate as well. And you can go and re-listen to it's on YouTube. So, and yes, I'm looking to get more than, I'd like to get 500 followers. I'd like to get into, eventually get up to 1,000 or more. That'd be great. But looking for people that want to take care of themselves, that want to heal, that want to have something. Okay. Tuesday, tomorrow, for me, on Tribal, we're going to have a really good one. We're going to be talking about when we hit that wall when it comes to other people's energy field. And I have a story for you. And I'm going to give you a tool. And we're going to be working with the spine on that. So I found that really interesting. Okay, so Cindy, as you start to do this, make sure you go to the right side and you find that same point. Okay, use your hand as a magnet and do that 12 times on each side, or 24 in total. Then you push in and deeply rub 30 times. I'm going to fix my screen again. Yep. if you like this content and you want more of it, then I need your support. I need you to somehow to communicate, put it out there, whether it's through Facebook or YouTube. I don't know how you put it out anywhere. I have no idea about social media, but I need you to help me to create this movement because this is important as we start to wake up. Okay, Cindy. Now, did you do left and right? If you've done that, then I'm going to check. It's still a little frozen, but that's okay. Now you're going to follow along. You're going to follow along, and we're going to have you do the right side. Now, everything is going to be on the right side. Okay, whatever point I give you, you're going to rub. We're going to say 20 times. Normally I say 30, but we're doing a sequence. Okay, so 20 times, and we're going to do just the right side. So I'm going to ask, where is the first point? They said the first point is on the spleen. So you're going to go down on the right side, follow your big toe, and you're going to deeply push in 20 times. Do that 20 times just on the right side. You get done with that, I'll give you the next point on the right side. Okay. And in the meantime, you can measure, you can feel things are different. Oh, wonderful. Keep saying, keep putting it out there, keep doing it because it's like I need that next energy that we have to go in. And I'm looking for finding a way to connect. And they said I'm supposed to have people be more involved if they want it. And then I can stay doing this. But if people don't want it, then I no longer can do the show. So it's like, oh, I gotta get that, huh? On here, can't see your detonated. Okay. See, you're generating too far off the screen. Oh, when it comes to this. Okay, well, you can watch it on YouTube. So it's kind of hard. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 screens. I'll try to do my best. Thank you very much for noticing that. So this is spleen here, just so that people can see it. I don't think I can set. No, I can't. Try. Go. Okay. So now you're going to, whoa. Okay, 20 times, 20 times. You're going to do now the right side. You're going to follow the big toe and the second toe. Big toe and second toe. Feel the two bones come together and they're going to meet to a point and you come forward. You're going to push in and deeply rub. The liver meridian is really needing, your liver meridian is needing to balance out the toxins. The toxins can be emotions. The toxins can be because the mental makes the emotions. And then, but it could be food. It could be from the environment, from people. But anyways, deeply rub 20 times because we're doing a sequence. Ooh, you've been dressed lately. Somebody's been putting their agenda in play. Ugh, your whole body's like, whoa. Okay, so now go to the right side of your right hand, and you're going to go directly into the back in the middle at the bend, and you're going to push in. Okay, push in. That 30 times, or 20 times, 20 times. We're doing just the right. We're just doing the right. Now what's happening is I'm watching this clear right up. What have you noticed? It could be the nose. It could be your eyes. It could be, no, this is not EFT. Is this all EFT? No, EFT is tapping. I'm doing acupuncture points in a very sequence called source point, which is the thing that I have developed. Source point has always been on the planet when it came to Chinese medicine. But I'm using it in a different way. I've laid it on its ear and I said, oh, we're going to do it this way. And we're going to communicate with the soul in a different way. EFT is to use depends on if you use the whole gamut with the fingers, or if you're using the short gamut where you're just using the body. Or you can even go longer by using the right brain, left brain, which is the humming and the singing and the eye rolling, which I highly recommend. So we do a lot of things. So you can also find EFT and meridian tapping, the long and the short version, on my website for free. So feeling lighter. Now you can literally measure that you just did this. You're feeling lighter. Now, as I'm feeling this, I'm watching this, I'm feeling that one's fine. I want to know, okay, so is your spirit in your body? Now, this is important. So who I was talking to was, okay, anybody that wants to do this, I know Cindy, but Catherine as well. And I would even say, Sheri, this is what you want to do is you want to say your name. So you got to, well, actually, no, I'm going to have you do something different. I'm going to have you put your spirit back into your body 100% where it belongs. Okay. So put in your hand here and you're going to go all the way to the back and then lift off. So you're going to say, my name is, and you're going to say your name and then your age. Okay. And then you're going to say, I put my spirit back into my body 100%. Lift off, do it again. I put my spirit. Now, literally, you're going to just say, feel your spirit filling in the whole space. Okay. I put my spirit in my body 100% where it belongs. Now, if you feel like, okay, let's say the doctor told you you have liver issues or you have lung issues or you have, then you're going to feel that your spirit is going into those particular areas where it belongs. You're going to do it all over, but you're going to put it in those very particular areas. Okay. You can do that. You know, you both, all of you, need to do it at least 10 times because it's, if you may be foreign to yourself. Okay. Now, as I'm looking at the ear, and the ear, I feel like half of you is numb, the other half is working. I feel like have you gone to a chiropractor before? Because I really feel that you probably would really work well with somebody that has done chiropractic work, roller work, where you're rolling on something, getting to the point of stretching. And because see, my boobs are big, so it creates a hump on my back, so I have to lay on something on my shoulders so that it starts to shape my spine in a healthier way, and then it opens it up. Okay, um, that's what you're going to do. Okay, thank you for the hashtags. Thank you, Theresa. Now, I'm already feeling the hormones different in my body. Now, am I taking her on? No, I have a screen. My body is mimicking and reading. No, but want to go to one. Find a good one. I have an absolutely fabulous one. He also does physical therapy as well. So he puts the combination of the two. There's different kinds of people that do things, but getting that energy, when that gets stuck in that spine, this is what the problem is that the more fear you have, the more you stop this energy flow. This is a wellsprings of life. And when we are scared or upset and worried, we stop the energy. We stop bringing love in because what we're getting is maybe yelled at or threat. And so we stop all the energy and we shrink our aura in, but we stop this. This doesn't allow to connect to the love field. If you are in the shitty situation, you still need to open this up and start sucking that energy up from your feet. That spine gets so, ugh, your life is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in such search results because it violates the fake engagement policy under the committee. Submit feedback. This decision is unfair. This notice is unclear. My live does not contain what you've mentioned. The last time I did this, it said I agreed to that. So that's bullshit. Submit. You think you use it. See, and it won't find out until later. Like when I said that's unfair. It says I accept that I'm abusing this. I didn't say that. So we'll see. Somebody is, I don't know. Uh, Kelly, you can get a. Have I read you before? You know, I mean, you can follow along. If you're having similar things, you can follow along. Because Kelly, I have a feeling that your energy is stuck too. So Judie, Judie, are you here? Because see, once you start to witness that you had, this is the way my life is, and now all of a sudden I just moved a little energy. Wait, what? And then you can feel better. You kind of realize this is for you. So, Cindy, one more thing, and that is I want you to hold right wrist, second position deep, and I want you to just sit there in the feeling state that I believe in lack. I believe I can't. I believe that I'm not whole. I believe any of that. So I want you to hold right wrist, second position, nice and deep, and just sit there and, oh God, yeah. See, waking up to what we do in our habits and behaviors is different. You can change that. All right, Judie. What's weird is that there's a pause and then I hear a melody and then I don't know what the melody is, but then the melody is how I have to distract myself from a particular feeling of guilt or something. And but yet this guilt isn't something you did. This is a guilt that somebody made you feel. Did you anybody ever make you feel guilty? And the only way that you could cope, handle, and deal with it would be to distract yourself. And let me know if that makes any sense, because uh, thank you, thank you. Yes, we want to get up to 500 and eventually 1,000. And I don't know how some people get up to 1 million and they have like their content is like, I'm hoping I'm giving good content. Content. Yeah, authentic content. So the delay is so bad that Judy's response, I'm here, thanks. I don't know if she heard what I asked or her reading of what I said, but I needed to know. Well, I'm waiting for Judy to see if again that leg is bad. Cindy says, yes, my hormones are way off. I'm on a IUD. Okay, I'm gonna tell you one thing, Cindy, is that um liver helps process hormones. Okay, if you found a naturopath, he may put you on P2 detox that would help clean. It's broccoli, brocchini that sits there, and in the way it's processed, it helps balance your liver so it can start balance your hormones. Um, doing oh, there's Judy. Judy says yes. Okay, so there's so many other things. You just go to my website, you actually see how you can balance your hormones like this, and anyways, you can get a free healing or a free tool. Oh, I can come on. April Lynn, she has done a few things. She says that she can come on. So I'm going to write that down. I know that Amy's coming on. All right, so let's work with Judy and then we'll move on to the next thing we have. So Judy, she said yes. So somebody makes you feel guilty. And what happens is I'm looking at when it's like this was the environment. This was the environment. The environment is always to gaslight or to always blame others or always make other people feel guilty. It's like a way of life. It's a way of communicating. But your body is super sensitive and your body knows, believe it or not, your soul knows that that's not true. I shouldn't have to feel guilty for something that somebody else has done or guilty to push me into doing what they want me to do. Do you understand? This is what your body and you are not really in sync. So what happens is that I ask spirit, what's happening? And it's like you're forced to believe a lie. As long as you don't think for yourself, then they're happy. They want you to be on the same page as me, be like-minded as me. And it's like, you can't be you, Judy. You have to be more like me so we can have a conversation. And this, do you understand? Well, that's stupid. You shouldn't be thinking that way. Do you understand? Well, your soul is saying that I'm tired of that. I want to be me. I want to be confident, be me. I want to not have my heart crushed all the time. I don't want to feel guilty all the time. And I'm looking for the best avenue at this point. It says that you have been conditioned so much, and they said this habit, you have to begin to understand there's this habit that you can feel their energy coming in and you become timid. This relationship of energy coming in and you feeling timid, that's the habit that your soul says, are you ready to break it, Judy? And they said, if your soul, and you're saying, yes, I don't want that anymore, you have to recognize when you reject yourself. You have to recognize when they're rejecting you. You have to recognize that, wait a minute, I need to reject what they're saying. I don't have to believe them. I don't have to believe them. So you need to understand the word rejection. You need to look at it from all the energy angles. And you need to apply this tool for every time you start to notice that you have to reject something that you want out of reality because it inconveniences them or whatever. Okay? Right wrist, second position, nice and soft. You don't push in deep this time. And then you're going to stay here and you're going to look and measure. So let's say you wanted something for yourself and they convinced you that no, 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 no. So they made you reject your own self. And now you're aware of it. You can go, Oh, I heard the words. This is the words. So you'd write down the words. And this is the way I was feeling. And oh my God, I wrote down the charge. And now I'm going to take and look at how I know it, not intellectualize and say it's because of this. No, that means you don't want to heal. I need you to feel the charge. Then you're going to take that, like I said, ooh. They said that another point that would be really good at kicking this out would be the left side. We're going to go to the left side. So you can do both, but the left side. So left side, second position. Remember, it's down from the crick. You place your thumb and you push in nice and soft. You don't push deep this time. Finger in the palm, safety, security, stability. And it's the palm and then the fingers dropping. Not here, not up here, here. And you're going to sit there and you're going to look at the topic of rejection in every angle because they said they want you to wake up from this. They're not bad people. That's just the way they talked with their maneuvers and things. And this is what you expected because this is what you grew up with. And you're like, but I want me. I want to find me. And how can you find you within that lie you have to live, the pressure that you have to live that way? You can't do it anymore. So, like I said, start kicking it out. All righty. All righty. Now, when it comes to Judie, I asked if there's anything particular, and they said yes, because again, she's deeply conditioned. And what I'm hearing is that I'm just irrelevant. It's a strong belief. Can you feel irrelevant? Like right now, right now, you shouldn't feel irrelevant because I'm communicating with you and I want you to be seen as you for yourself. Get you. But do you identify yourself as irrelevant? And if you can sit in your mind going, I feel irrelevant, and this goes with anybody, I feel irrelevant when I'm in a conversation with people. I feel irrelevant. Of, if you can measure that and say, yeah, it's a 10, yeah, it's a 5, whatever, I will give you a point. I have to wait for that delay first before I can get that reaction or comment or comment. Now, so how are we doing as I'm waiting? How are we doing? Hopefully pretty good. Like I said, we have 4 piffs, but 3 piffs, and Robyn has a free a piff. So Robyn, I'll put you down. And then that'd be good. Let's see, I have to open a few things. Hi, Candace. How are you? Candace, how are you doing? And I don't know if she's gone or come back. Okay, so for anybody that says, wait a minute, maybe Judie didn't respond, but I would like the points or like to clear this up. And I can't even remember what it is because now all of a sudden I can feel this pulling away. It does at times. There's the answer. So now can anybody tell me what I just said? There is a delay on my screen here. Oh, that's bizarre. What's happening here? I might have to. That's part of what we're doing. Hopefully I still got connection. Been a long time. Yeah, well, now we can get back into it. This is concerning because if I can't get this to work, then how am I going to connect with people? Okay, so I'm going to see if I hope it doesn't disrupt too much. All right, let's see if we can do this. Okay. Anybody remember what the question I was going to give some points. Wow. There is this whole, do you guys feel this? I can't even get back to the right line. I have to save it for another day. I'm going to accept this. If this is the way it is, so be it. If it's supposed to come back in a line, it will. Thank you very much. I'm connected here, but the statement of what points I was going to rub or give to her, I was going to have when she answers, you'll give her a point. It was a 5 or a 10. What was the question? what is it you guys feel that you can't, or you feel, what was the statement? Oh, relevant. Thank you. Oh my God. That's interesting. So let me just sort out what's happening here. To the point you feel so irrelevant, you can't get things to work physically on the outside. Okay. Again, we have all of these things that are happening on the planetary thing, retrograde and all that. But to feel irrelevant, if you have identified with being irrelevant and you literally see how the outside is not working with you or for you, and you're like, what? Then it's called a self-sabotage. And it's part of, I don't know how to connect with this. So if you start to feel irrelevant at all, this is the combination I want you to begin to do. We're going to start with the right side first. Wow. Okay, because it has to do with our aura, because they brought this up. Go under your chin first, and you're just going to start rubbing. Say, I'm irrelevant. I'm irrelevant. Think about what that means. I'm irrelevant. That about 20 times. We're going to do a sequence of events. And then you're going to go down to the right side. Here's the 2 points of the toes. Follow the bones up till they meet, fall forward, and then you're going to push in and you're going to say irrelevant. Irrelevant. You're coming to terms with what that really is, because your energy's fading away. Your energy's making it so there's no communication. That's what that I was trying to open up, and it just wouldn't work. And it can be a little bit of alarming, because if that don't work, I'm not sure. I got to find another way to make the show work. Yeah, we're having tech. Yeah, and the solar. Yeah, because everything's changing. Super consciousness is really starting to come to light. Do that about 20 times there. And then you're going to come over to the right. Now, if you are pregnant, don't do this. It's a controversial point. Some people, that's how you do it. Some people don't. But I go by what I have been taught, that don't do it. But you can skip that part. It'll still start to help. But this is for history. You've always had. You're going to go to the right hand, flip it over. Follow the 2 bones coming down from the thumb and the first finger, slide forward, and you're going to push in, and you're going to think irrelevant, relevant. And you're going to start to notice that the brain will start popping up of answers. Yeah, when I talk, so-and-so is distracted. Or when I talk about my needs, it's like I've inconvenienced them. They let me know, I'm irrelevant. Or how I even make myself irrelevant. I'm afraid to talk out loud because I don't know. And there you go. Now we got those 3 points. Is there any particular point in particular? They said, yes, we want to make sure you always include the left side in this case, because that's about towards yourself. And they said, towards myself, I'm irrelevant towards myself. I'm always outside myself. So they're telling me they want you to go down to the left side of the foot. That's the one you want? Yeah, okay. We're going to go follow the big toe, go up there where that bunion point is, and you start rubbing. And I said, anything else for the left side? They said yes. Then you're going to come over to the right lung, and it'll be right under the thumb. I'm irrelevant to myself. Oh my goodness. I don't have to identify with irrelevancy. I don't even like just feeling irrelevant. Oh, yeah. When they had that conversation the other day, I wanted to make myself irrelevant. Oh my gosh. Now I can see. So your body and you are going to communicate, and you're going to start popping up. It's not even just about grief. It's about saving your ass sometimes. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. So other new revelations may come into play. Okay. Then you're going to go to the left. As again, we're working just on the left. And we're going to go follow the big toe. You're going to go behind the ankle bone, directly behind the ankle bone. Okay. Directly behind it. You're going to push in and just rub. Now, at any point, if you want to use a magnet, both sides of the magnet, you can do so. But you're helping yourself to kind of be consciously present so that you can connect to your higher consciousness, that super consciousness, that part that's actually running the show, and to connect into that. Okay. All right. Let's pray that this works, because I'm supposed to start bringing on my guest. Yeah. Oh, thank God. Uh, Let's see, it's working. I got to get the link. This one, and I'm gonna go over and get the first guest we have. And if you guys ever want to watch the guest, whether they're video or audio, whatever it is, you go over to YouTube. Remember, we want to get the subscriptions up, the likes, and if you're watching the show afterwards, you can put your name. If you start typing in conversations with me after the show on the videos or on my reels, that can put your name in for a free drawing to get a chance to come on, whether it's audio only, that's up to you. And we do this drawing once a month. All right, so we're going to bring in our first guest, and we're going to start noticing if there's anything that we can help her with. We'll see. Now she has one. She is, I can't remember if she commented on the reels or the audios. There's many different ways. We have it several different ways, and she did that, and we put her name in the random generator with others, and her name came up. Okay. So, Miss April Lynn, I have sent you the link. Let's just ask for the connection. You're welcome, Judie. Now remember to measure, to witness, and this or better. You guys are beautiful. You guys are beautiful. And you have a chance to be something more than just, I'm in a meat suit and I'm waiting for my turn to die. You don't have to put a deadline, or you don't have to, put something, you don't have to put a toe tag on. You don't have, I want you to learn to thrive and survive. No, I want you to thrive and thrive. I want you to be this love, and I want you to discover that there is great love, and that quantum field can keep giving to you something better than you can create. And that's the beauty of it. Okay, she may have stepped away for a moment. So we'll take the next. Theresa has asked for, Miss Perkins has asked for it. So I'm going to wait for just a moment, and I will take and do Theresa's. Anything particular? Hopefully that will open up and I can see it. We're going to find out in just a second if it is working. Okay, so there's that one. Oh. Okay, and then there's this Theresa. What spirit wants for you? Okay, Miss Theresa. While we're waiting for Miss April to come in, then this is what we're going to do. What am I hearing? Toot toot. What's that mean? Beneficial. There's a commercial. Maybe that's insurance. But toot toot. Something that makes you happy and is fun. I feel like it's more of a train than any other toot toot, but there's some good memory that's stuck with an invading memory. So it's like you want to have a happy memory, but all of a sudden this invading energy interrupts this happy memory. And your body says, I have to go in shutdown mode. So every time you start to get happy, your body goes into shutdown mode. This becomes the particular program. And this is what I'm hearing. And they said it has to do with relationships. So we're talking about that scalar field. We're talking about that overlap that is there. Let's see. So this is what we're doing. We're looking at this. So you every time you connect with people online or in person, there's a part of your body that starts to go into shutdown. And I said, okay. So what do we want to do? And they said, well, we have to understand that she can't behave who she is. So she's constantly looking, going, oh, I can't behave that way. Oh, they gave me that funny sound. Oh, they gave me that look. Oh, they're disagreeing with me, or they're not approving of me. Oh, so now the body is saying it wants to shut down. If you can follow this, and I want you to go to left wrist to second position, nice and deep, okay? L2D. You have to begin to pay attention. You have to pay attention to you observing that they're disagreeing, the way they're showing up, the way that they're doing this. And then when you're done with that, you're also going to go R1D, right wrist, first position D, okay? And this is the grief. This is the mental grief, that process that you put yourself through hell and shutting down process. So first it's that, I can't remember wrist I already showed you, but it is to become aware that you are observing with high alert and fear inside from a program. Measure that, dismantle, then go over to the lung one, and then start to feel the anguish of the mental thought, and then you got to shut down. Okay, get started measuring on those. All righty. Now we're going to let Miss Autumn into Autumn here. I guess Autumn's going to be present soon, but Miss April Lynn. Sorry for misquote. So Autumn must be thinking, about me. Is anybody seeing her? Maybe she's saying, hold on. I haven't seen this young lady in such a long time. Hi. Hi. Oh,
Hello?
yay, I can hear you. You
Okay.
know what we haven't had in a while? Thank you, Spirit. Is that remember how you'd come on, we couldn't hear you, and you'd have to go play with something on your computer and so we could even hear you. So I haven't seen that in a while. So thank you, Spirit. You must have done something. Okay. Anything in particular I can help you with? You have actually 2 months worth that we have to do. So we'll use one, and if we have to go into the second, we will. But how can I help?
Yes. Um, what you're talking about is what I'm going through.
Ooh,
So I have my book and I start writing down what I'm thinking. And I put my reading and I put, okay, I've been noticing when I'm in alignment,
hmm?
things will just happen.
Oh,
Like
I can
this
believe
was this was a couple months ago. I said, fine, if I'm supposed to leave the hotel, then like an hour later I got an interview. Then I went to that interview and then I self-sabotaged because what I did was I didn't take the job and I wasn't in the present moment. I want this and this together, my way, me controlling it. Okay. So then I missed out on that self-sabotage. And I said, okay. So then Ayme, comes into town. I am in alignment, not thinking about anything else, about being in alignment, watching my energy, being with my friend. And we walk into the hotel and the lady says, you want a job? And I filled out the application. I said, well, yeah, I can only work 1 or 2 days a week. And I was thinking of asking. In my head, I was thinking of asking. And she asked me.
oh my God, that's beautiful.
So she told me that I would be getting an email in a couple days, and that would be my background check. And I had to fill that out first.
Okay.
So then I started thinking, oh, I can do this. I'll work here. I'll do this. I'll do this. Check the email. Check for the email. Check for the email. Check for the email. I still have not gotten that email. I called on Friday at noon and left a message and said, I didn't get the email yet.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
my mind is like, okay, they don't want me anymore. And then I'm like, oh, so I'm focusing on what I want, which I'm pushing it away. So I'm doing the self-sabotage and I'm not getting the communication. No communication. I'm irrelevant because they're not communicating to. And I'm sitting here writing this down as you're saying it. And I was like, oh, that's a clue for me, but I can see it.
All right. Now, even though would you, with it being working at that other place, would you get, would it affect your health insurance? Could they provide? What's going on with that? Because I feel like it's a safety concern. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So it would just be extra income because it is, um, I work for a corporation and they're franchised.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, I'm looking at all these different things. Now, if you really, because it's so we know it's a theme, and so we have to look into this. And I said, so is the body literally self-sabotage? Yes. So it makes sense. So now I have to look. Do you have problems confronting people?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
So if I am out and about, uh, a stranger is just a friend. I don't know their name. But if I know that you are a nasty person and I have to talk to you, because that goes into my program that I have to change my behavior because of your nasty behavior.
Right.
So I want to avoid that.
Okay. Okay. Now, okay. So we're going to be talking in tribal tomorrow about something that I completely discovered. We're going to talk just a tad bit about it right now because, yeah, it's just
You're
following.
welcome.
You're welcome. Yes. All right. So I want my life to unfold. I know I'm supposed to move in a certain direction and I'm following it. I'm mentally and emotionally happy, but my body will self-sabotage me. Or as this happened, is that I had made this really, really good program, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I recorded that. Perfect. That goes along with the new thing that Spirit told me I needed to do. And it didn't say that it can't convert. It says, oh, we had trouble recording, so it didn't record anything. I was like, now ego would go, oh, stupid computer, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I self-sabotaged myself so much that I said, I really have to discover what this is. And so my body says, well, we're kind of gun shy. And I'm like, what? So the body changes shape when you have energy that comes into your space. The body changes shape. And I keep hearing 3 and 13, 3 and 13. I'm like, oh my gosh. So as I kept healing every single day about certain things, I can communicate and talk to people and confront people without having problems. Okay. I had to relive a moment. So I buy these products and it's not fit for uh not consumption, fit for purpose. They're not going to do what it says it is for what I need. And the guy sold us to us and he says, no, they'll work. And I said, okay, right. So I bought 6 products and I decided I'm going to keep 2 and the other 4, which are different, they're not going to work. So I didn't do anything with them except for take them out and charge because that's what they told me to do. And so I did. And I'm like, wait, this isn't even going to work. So I decided it's too much high maintenance, not going to do this and take it back. It's not even been 24 hours. I take them back. And as soon as I walked in through the door with the bag, the owner gave me the nastiest look. I could feel his energy, but I didn't go scared. His energy stopped at my field. And then we get up to thing and I says, okay, I says, these are not fit for purpose. They won't, I know they're not going to do what I want. And then he's like, immediately starts telling me that I put him in water. And I'm like, he's cutting me off. He's not letting me speak. He's telling me what I've done, and he can't give me my money back. And blah blah blah. I'm an American down under, so it's a whole different ball game over here, right? And so all of a sudden, it's not that I used to be so scared to confront, so scared to go out in that world, so scared to fight for my rights. But this isn't about fighting. All of a sudden, it's about gaslighting. So that's what I was afraid of, right? To be bowled over. They called it naive and they're going to take advantage of you. It's a scam. And I've been learning that no, I don't have to fall for it. It's okay you don't like me. I had a feeling and a belief that I want everybody to like me. So that was the first thing that had to go. Okay. And not be afraid that whatever comes in my mouth that they've already won. Feel that as well. So Spirit says to me, stop, watch. He said that you had put the product in water. And the only reason that you hit, because you can't even get to say no because you won't shut up. But the 2 that you kept, you put in water, you kept them. The other ones never touched water. But yet he's telling you, and then all of a sudden, I don't know what, all that inner part of me and says, hold on, let me take a picture of the rules. Because like, here's the rules. You didn't show me those rules. And I know some of the rules over here in Australia. And he's telling me, no, as soon as I open and slit, I know I carefully opened the box. And I charged it because he told me to. And he's saying, no, you slit it, you open it out. Now we can't take them. I'm like, that, all of a sudden it's like, here he goes. I can feel that I'm going to get bowled over. But I've healed so much, I don't have to feel like I have to, right? What happened was that, yes, I kept hearing what he was saying, and Spirit says, no, 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 don't give him any information. Just listen to him, watch what he's doing, but don't fall for everything. And the next thing I know, I'm like, okay, there's your first mistake. I says, look what you just said. You're saying that because I put them in water, you can't give me my money back. I says, and I didn't. So as I'm starting to say, okay, let me record you, let me take these pictures, and I want you to understand, I'm going to take you in front of the board because I know this isn't right. Oh, he started changing his whole tune. I came in to get different information, so I had to play the field. Now I'm not going to go into that. I'll tell you that in tribal. But when I got home, now, I just visited the chiropractor and he said, oh, your C7 went out. And he put it back in. And then a week later, he says, come back in a week later. And it stayed in. I'm like, yeah. Guess what went out? My C7. Immediately when it happened, my body, not me, my body's program says, oh my God. So it went out. And I can't see my chiropractor for 2 weeks. Yeah, I can go in anytime. But at the same time, it's like, no, I realize what happened. His energy field. And if you ever been in the heat of the moment, this is very important. It's where two people come together and you can feel the heat, and then you either pursue or you back off. Okay. Now I know you had this too as a kid. I can feel it. Whoop. And you were like so determined as a kid, and then somebody bigger than you, energetically than you, just kind of passively put you in your position. And your body then says, I can't. And then it sabotages you. That's what I got for you. Worry is the thing. Worry. Okay? I'm looking at you. I'm looking at your 4-year-old self that says, I feel deficient. The 4-year-old, not this woman. I know she's not. Okay. The age she is, I know she's not. Okay. But her 4-year-old, her program says, I'm deficient. I
And I
am
can
not
see it.
allowed. What's that?
I can see it because with my great aunt, when I would do something, they would warn me, hey, she's coming over here, behave. And if I would go to smart mouth or, or whatever, my grandmother, my great grandmother, or my mother would give me that look like, behave,
Okay.
because she would broadcast her
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You're
Now,
not, yeah.
I'm going to skip around just a little bit. Again, you're going to get more of it tomorrow. But I realized that I had to meet this man where his belief systems were, because I don't operate from there. I live it, breathe it, walk it, talk it, and dream it, and imagine, and I do things different. But I had to, in that scalar field, I was either have to bow down or I could say no. So I brought my spirit self into that space. And spirit self said, notice where you're supposed to lose power. We're not going to. So I kept calling my energy back, kept sucking the energy from my feet, and I kept watching how it was playing out. And that spirit said, now you need to open your mouth and you have to spin the tail. I go, but it goes against every moral fiber in my being. I'm like, where did I get that? And then I'm like 3 years old and knew what moral fiber meant. I won't lie. I won't do that. And spirit says, but it's a restriction. You're not going to hell, and you're not going to be you have to be okay to be unloved by this person because they like to fight. But I don't. Correct. But you should say, I don't like to fight, and you put all that energy, you need to heal that out. And I'm like, okay, you're okay to do your second one? I'm sorry to rattle on, but this is important. You
Yes.
want to continue? Okay. So here it is. I and that's when I began to notice throughout history, and I'm gonna see if you can see it too. Niceties in a conversation just so that everything goes smoothly in a social setting. Things are promised but never followed through. And having a conversation, and they are the greatest person on the world because you can like them and you can hate those, but you can like me. So it's about the niceties. And I heard coming out of my mouth because I said, this guy said this and da 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 da, and now you're telling me that. And I came in here for that because I did come in for more information. So that part wasn't a lie. But then as soon as he changed his tune, well, I'm going to make more money off of you. Spirit goes, just watch, say this. So I said it. And the next thing you know, I'm like, oh my God, does this feel like I'm an actor in an acting school? I don't like it. Spirit says, it's not that you have to put your energy of hating it or not liking it. Understand you're watching how humans do it. So I'm being my spiritual self and I'm following through. And I can, and again, I felt this go out immediately, but I didn't click until I got home. Now, what's happens for you is as a part of you, it's like, yes, I want to have another job. I want to have extra income. Now, when I asked, do you really want this? Yeah, I want to move forward. I want to do this. Okay, but you have a deficiency feeling. So you have to create a sabotage just like I did. And I said, no, I'm done being sabotaged. What the heck is sabotage is about? And it's me in communicating with other human beings. If I get bigger and I get more famous or I get whatever, this movement to move forward, I still have to be the face of it. What's going to stop people that are going to come at me or sabotage me or whatever? And I'm like realizing it was my little that had the fear. And then it hit me that my mother was just upset. She'd take care of 5 kids and I needed to behave. I needed to toe the line. I needed to do this as well. And I watched everybody fight all my life, my sister and my mother. Then I go to my friend's house, their sister and mother. And it's like, oh, that's exhausting. That's what I've been running from. I don't want to do that. Well, now I need to stop, turn around and say, it doesn't have to be that way. So I had to start removing the condition. That's what you're doing. So she gave you niceties. She brought it to you and you're reading it. But your son, your program of your little says, but I still have to worry. I believe in worry. Now, the April that's in front of me right now doesn't really worry, but the program says in order to get something or not get something, I have to see that process. So worry is something that is you.
So I just thought of something
Yes.
because most of my jobs I've gotten like that.
Okay. Yep. All right.
So when it doesn't happen like that, I think, oh, okay, the universe is telling me to take a pause.
Yeah.
Why am
Okay.
I getting a communication? Maybe I shouldn't work there. And then I start overthinking.
There you go.
Should I work there? Should I not work there? Is the universe telling me not to? Wait a minute. Am I in alignment or am I in a loop? I think I'm in a loop.
Yes. And that's the thought. Your 4-year-old is coming up and telling you how it's trying to figure it out, but it's not working. But it's the literally you're supposed to worry. Now, if I said, is that really you? They go, no, that was a strategy of how I picked up my mother. So how does your mother worry? It doesn't sound as spiritual, but how does your mother worry?
My, okay. My mother worries. I'll use this example. So where we lived, we went to the children's hospital to go to the dentist, and that's where the people would do their internship for to be dentist. Okay, so we would go there and we would have it on the calendar, and it would be like a month out, and it was only 25 minutes at the most away. When I grew up, I thought we were like going out of state. And I was so scared to drive. In our small town, we had Route 41 and Route 55, and then you had the highway 70, only one highway. Down here where I live now, there's like all kinds of 4 different highways, a turnaround. Oh, just like, oh my gosh, my younger self would not have been able to be down here because I would have been like, how am I going to learn how to drive?
Did you hear how her soul just told her one of the main points of why she has to sabotage? April, the adult self, goes, this is normal. Her little self, you're supposed to worry, you're supposed to fear. So I'm looking at this little and it says, I'm deficient. I can't. Now, as we know it's worry, but the deficient I can't. Did your mother use that? I
Um,
can't.
Probably, but a lot of times I feel like I grew up with don't even think about going to college, don't even think about buying a house because we have no money when there's zero. So basically, and I tell people this all the time, I thought there was this way or this way. I didn't know that there was this way or this way, and all different perspectives.
So again, she told her the second point. So the first point, when she listens through it, she's going to make sure she starts doing R1D because it's like I can't have the compulsion to want anything more. So now, how dare April, the adult self, want something more? And as soon as she has the compulsion to want something more, like she said, I couldn't go to college, I couldn't do this because we can't, right? So now I want a second job. I want to go get that extra income. She can't because the compulsion is she has to go into sorrow. She has to go into loss. This is how she coped as a child, knowing she can't go out and play or do this or do that. She had to figure out, oh, I can't. And so
There
I have
was
to
a
squash my
there,
compulsion.
yeah.
I have to be this. So you have to be pressure to be something. Now, again, she's grown up, but those little parts of her says, I still believe that I can't. Well, she can give herself permission to do it all she wants, but that deep feeling. Now, what she's going to do is the second one. I'm supposed to be, it's cross between anxiety and helpless. Okay. There's a combination there. So worrying in the future is anxiety. So we know that that's there, but you're supposed to be helpless. You've done everything right, and yet it can't be followed through. So what are you supposed to do? Okay. So you were trying to prove to your mom, and I feel like this part one comes up when you were about like 22. And I don't know who you were trying to prove to, whether it was your mom or whoever was in your life, but you didn't really succeed the way you wanted to. And so you then started to put these thoughts in your head. She's right. Can't. You understand? You feel there's a little bit of defeat there. Okay. But it is who came in to support you made you helpless.
I think that's about the time that I got married to my first husband.
Okay. See, he can give you everything that you can't give yourself or that your parents didn't give you. And it didn't quite work that way because I feel like you've lost yourself more and more and more because instead of developing who you are. So that's where I feel like you went. So you're supposed to, again, as soon as you start to, oh, I'm going to get everything in my life now, everything's great. No, you got to put that compulsion. You got to shut that shit down. You can't do it. So you married someone that was a form of a gaslighter, someone that was a form of worry, someone that tried to control everything in order so they didn't blow up or fall apart. He just happened to be stronger at it, more manly about it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They said when you start to begin to do this, the body starts to feel like it's my fault because you're like, oh, I didn't get what I wanted. And okay, that's fine. But then you have to say it's because your fault because they're upset. Now, the body then says, I have to blame myself so that the body has to become sick and it has to get something wrong with it. Does this make sense?
Yeah, and I was told it was my fault.
Then you're going to start looking at all those angles of that lie. And you're going to look at how you really felt. It's my fault. And you're going to do a lot of L2S, a lot of L2S. Okay. And the one thing that the reason we told that story in the beginning is because you're going to have to meet that energy head to head. Okay. So when I was talking to that guy, we went head to head and I could feel the energy. But this time I didn't back down. This time I didn't go and do that. This time I stayed as my spirit self. And I was realizing what was happening. My body was going, and I says, no body, we're going to heal this. So now we have to pull it out of the body. So the one thing that you're going to be pulling it out of is that you're going to be looking for T11. That's that like lower part here. You're going to look for T11 and you are going to start tapping. What are you looking for when you look at T11? And that is duressed, gaslit. And it's like, but nobody's in my space that's really doing it. But it is when you look at the email and it's not, yeah, exactly. You have to do it. You have to do it. But feel how it's still the environment. You could go in and complain like an ego and go, oh my God, it's this, this, and this. But deep down, you just go, oh, I'm supposed to do it to myself. Oh, okay. So you're gonna go and you're gonna rub both sides of that, and then you're gonna make sure you include the both sides of the brain. So you're gonna tap on the top of your head, and you breathe in and out a couple rounds, and then you're gonna include your thymus and your heart. So you're gonna tap that in the middle there. And you can rub at the same time or not. That's up to you. And then I said, is there another place that it sits? They go, yes, it sits in T8. So you'll have to go up a little higher. And I said, is it the same particular emotion? They go, no, it's now she's supposed to be small. You can think and add on. Think about that, and then you add on. I'm supposed to be small. Okay. So then you go and you rub that again, tap a couple times and then in the rounds. And after you've done this, then you're going to hold R2S because you're supposed to be helpless. You literally can just go, yeah, okay, I am helpless. I can't stop it. I can't make them call or I can't make them send the email. I can't follow through. Okay. So you are going to start getting it out of your body. All right. So that your body will stop sending the signal out so that you always have to sabotage. You're doing everything right. Now you just have to get the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual all to work together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This has been a pleasure. I missed you. I know you've been working your little, you've been working, and I'm so happy that I'm sorry to have missed that phone call, when you and Ayme got together, but it would have been cool to see. I know, but I know my heart's been with you, and I know your heart's been with me. So,
Yes.
all right, I love you, and thank you so
Love you.
much.
Thank
All
you.
right, bye, hon.
Bye.
Happy healing. All right, now I gotta figure out where the button is. There it is. Okay. Hopefully you got something out of this. If you see yourself in this, if you understand this. See, why did Spirit speak? Because it can speak to you. You can come in alignment and you can start working on a rhythm together. We can start working as a collective and changing things out, and we're creating a different matrix. So that's what we're doing. Okay. Autumn, so funny as I'm bringing it on Miss April. The funny part was I called her Autumn and I said, oh, Autumn must be on her way or something like this. Did you, so did you want to use, because Melody had gifted you a piff that she has won to you. Is that correct? I just want to make sure that was correct. Is that correct? So you can use that today if you wanted to or not. That's up to you. And we are going to work with Miss Robyn. You were gifted a chat, and is there anything particular that you would like me to address? Okay, so if that's Miss Robyn, you let me know, and hopefully Autumn has heard what I said because these delays are incredible. If you had a reading from today, or if you like listening to this, go over to YouTube and subscribe and help get the numbers up for me. Comment, do other things if you want to try do your best to win in a drawing. That'd be great. So she said, let Spirit speaks. Okay, so we're going to allow Spirit to come through. Gitchy gitchy goo, gitchy gitchy goo. That's all I'm hearing is gitchy gitchy goo. And I keep hearing something about okay, so gitchy gitchy goo, that's like a tickling, a funny thing, or somebody's coming at you to tickle you. But I'm looking at something that the word's addicted to self behavior. What the heck does that even mean? You're talking about Robyn is addicted to a self behavior that she can't see yet, but needs to. Her little had connect. Oh, that's where the Gucci Gucci go. So did whoever played with you, uh, you were connecting to that in joy, but the energy of this person is what you see, and this person also made you feel not happy. So they would make you feel good, but then they would also make you feel like crap. And as you start to move forward into becoming more you, I feel a resistant wall. As if to say, I can't bring this piece of my heart with me. And as I'm listening to this, it is love, but I feel like I have to play out or pay this karmic debt. There's a karmic debt, not actually money as much as karma that's out of balance. And I have to make it balance. I have to always show up a certain way to make it balance. I said, can you give us any clue about what that means? Well, I have to be muddled. No, no, no. Emotion, being silent, the emotion of being silent. You need to become silent. Just follow along, they said. I had to protect myself. So as I became silent to protect myself or protect those pieces of my heart, I had also developed, and then we're talking about like, I don't know, they're showing me age 22 and they're showing me age 28 or 28 and a half, but they're showing me these two particular ages that correlate where you would go silent, but you would also go silent brooding. Does this make sense? So you would go in and you would think about it and you would brood about it, but so you wouldn't show it outward. No. Okay. I keep hearing I can't show myself to a person because why? Because why? Um, I'm looking at the reaction. So if you show yourself, talking about now, anytime, okay, then now, if I show myself, this is based on a belief somewhere. If I show my true self, if I show myself, my true self, if I show myself to this particular signature person, not just a signature, it's a person, because it's a person, male, female. Hold on. I don't know if it's a representation of family or if it's a representation of something, but it's a belief system. Okay, so what's the assumptions? What's the conclusions? The conclusions have to do with, okay, so I'm looking at a repulsive compatibility, and I can't remember how much you know about repulsive compatibility, but as soon as you, so two magnets that come together, this is strong, healthy magnets, but over time, one magnet can become weak, lose its goss, lose its ability. And so every time it comes into play with this one, and it should come together, it'll start to push. It'll start to push, and you can't come together. So as soon as somebody comes with their energy field, which usually is that's a big ball, meaning anybody and all people. Okay, so the younger part, okay. So when this energy comes into your field, your repulsion, you're supposed to repulse instead of be compatible. And even though who you are now, you're supposed to be compatible, but you have this program. So instead of being able to come together, so as soon as it comes, it pushes. Now, healthiness is that it should be able to bond and connect and to still be yourself while you're doing it. So you have a repulsive compatibility. So I says, can you give me more on that? And they said, yes. We're looking at the self. I'm talking about what kind of self? They said, the self I have to display. So is this like a mask that you have to put on towards yourself? So you have a mask that you have towards yourself, a mask towards yourself. And you had to do it at these particular ages to protect yourself. Because the excessive energy that came in was so lofty, your body would just get and so then the body would start to poof, poof, poof. So it would lose itself. The body's cells became, I'm not sure if you're here in the beginning, but when a cell is happy and healthy and positive, it's open and it takes nutrition in. And the moment that there feels like the outside is threatened, the cell will close off to protect itself and move away. And that was what your body was doing. This sounds like it's convoluted. I know where it's going to some degree. I hope you can too, because the body is saying, okay, now I'm being more whole, more less deficient. But the addiction, so we're looking at an emotional chemical. I'm with you. Oh, excellent. There's something about it's not even in the mental or emotional, it's the body. So we're going to look at the body real quick. Okay. Because the spirit says, I'm holding the issue. In the engram, meaning everything I experienced from the environment at certain particular points all means something. I says, what do they all mean? It all means that I will be overpowered. So it says, I will be overpowered. And you're like, but I don't want to be overpowered. Okay, so you've done everything. So you have overpowered on one hand, and um then you're talking about now at age 3, you were forced to have learned helplessness, behavior else. And with these two particular experiences, you can't see the program. All right, so I have to behave or else. And then this one, see, because as soon as I try to hold this one in my mind, this one says, you can't see me. And then as soon as I let this one go, this one says, I have to have this to protect me. But it's coming to the surface. As soon as a certain amount of planets align, you're going to get some information. So the body is saying, I have to change my shape consistently. Oh, they were physical injuries. Okay. I have to change my shape consistently because the energy that's invading my space, I can't stop because that part of me doesn't believe I can. I feel I'm deficient because I was told I couldn't when I was little. You can't. And you're like, okay, I believe that. But now the body is saying, hold on, hold on. So this means we're going to have to go to the spine. All right. Where did we go? We want to look at C1. So we know that it's up here. And we're going to look at how the outside's energy is duressing. I mean, it's agenda. It's pushing, it's pushing, it's pushing. So you have to really define what duress is and how is it done? How do you know it? What's the real like dictionary and Google? What does duress feel like? All of these things. And then we're going to have you tap on this or rub them, C1, and then you're going to come here and you're going to think duress. And then you're going to open here. And you're going to think duress. You can rub these at the same time. Then you're going to take care of that. Now, the same thing about duress, and it's in T2. So you're going to have to go to the thoracic area, T8, and then you're going to have to sit there and it's the shock. There's a shock. So you're going to think duress. Oh my God. So you're getting duress, but you're catching it. So consciously you're going, you're catching it. So you're going to rub on that as best you can, go find a wall or whatever you're going to do. And then you're going to breathe in and out a couple times, and you're going to do this onto your heart as well. Now, we have to add on to that T8, T8. Okay, so T8 is that in order to keep you keep seeing that reality, it's connected to two things. One is like the stream of criticism, and you can't help but to recirculate in your mind how they did it. And so that's like you have to stay in that deficiency. But at the same time, it's the impending doom because you know that that's what's going to be coming. You know that's what's going to be coming. So when you have that, that's where you're going to have to do T8. Is there anything else? Yes, you can go to R2D and somehow all of these things come up with failure. So it's like, oh, here we go again, or I've seen this before, but do R2D, right wrist, second position D. Okay. That was really a good one. Really good one. All right. We're chugging along just great. Makes perfect sense. Excellent. I'm glad we can speak the same. Let's go get her. Let's go get Miss Autumn. Oh, it sucks doing only one show a week, but at the same time, and in the new show, I don't know if I'm still doing it or if I'm going to do it. It's 7 o'clock is just not the right time, so I may end up doing it later. I'm not sure. We're going to figure it out. You're working with spirit. There's nothing really written in concrete. You're finding it. The way the planets and everything is, Autumn, if you're here, then you can see the link. Then it's finding that rhythm and that alignment. It's this or better. And if it doesn't work here, you don't just ego shut it down. You look for that. So as I was ready to expand to make the new show at Ask Dr. B differently, that's when I noticed that I had that sabotage. And so I've been working consistently on been revealing in my dreams. So last night I did two particular things and I woke up and I did, and then went back to sleep. And I watched how my body went into a formation of either pain or couldn't breathe or something. So I just started to do the spinal thing, and I went right back to sleep. So it must have worked. I didn't have to grab any medicine. I didn't have to be annoyed and stay awake. So, all right. Let me just check. Somebody made a comment. Oops, not opening. There we go. All right, she saw it. That's good. All right. Sorry. Oh, just looking at things, just waiting. And so we will do after this, we will do, people have waited. I don't know if you're still here or not, but we will then do the PIFs. So if you're here and you want that PIF, oh, no, what did I do with the little list? I have Crystal and Amanda and Vicky. So if you're all still here, then great. So after I get done with Autumn, we will do the duck race. Anybody else? Let me roll call. Let me know that you're here. So we have Crystal, Amanda, and Vicky. Okay, so Crystal's here. That's excellent. And I'm going to see if there's any problems of why it's not working. So we're going to find out. Now, anytime you decide that you want to move a little bit forward on being more in charge of your space, you might want to invest in yourself, and you can join Tribe. And the new cost of Tribe is 42. And, you can do it. But actually, if you join now before November, you can get it for 36. But that's up to you. You can get a locked in price. Did Ernie want a PIF? So I see Vicky is here. Is Ernie still here? So we're looking for Amanda, and if Ernie is still here, then we can put that. Hi, Miss Autumn. How are you? Let me get that one more button so we can hear you. Nope, nope, do it again. Nope, no, it's unmuted again. There we go. Yeah, I can hear
There we
you.
go. There we
Hey,
go.
you.
Hello. Pretty good.
All right. So you were gifted a PIF, so that's good. So how can I help? How can I help?
I'm gonna do what Spirit wants
Okay.
today. Yeah,
Okay. All
had
right.
a little bit of an down, but yeah,
All
let's
right.
see
So the
Spirit
first thing
wants.
we want to do is we want to help you get on the same page with us, and which means that hmm, you kind of been a little bit lofty to yourself. So do you say kind of like unnice things to yourself?
I can, or I just recently had somebody say something not very nice, and
There it is. There it is. There it is. So
yes,
it was presented to you and you've been mulling it over.
a little
Okay.
bit, yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at the 41 thoughts, and they kind of are all for repeating. We're going to disrupt this pattern. We're going to do it with a little bit of fast aid. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your magnet, and if you can do so, and if you can take it and put it on your right side. Can you do that?
Yep.
Okay, so that point right there is where you're going to take your magnet. And anybody else want to know? Yes, I burnt myself in my pan. I got new pans and I put my hand to pick up the fork and so it's a burn. See, it's another sabotage I had to do to myself. I paid attention. So she's right now, she's taking and using the magnet and the best she can and over that spot. And when she's done, she's going to sit there and, rub it. If she can't rub it, then she can find a corner of a desk and then see, she can rub it. That's good.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, well, I did. I didn't know whether that was something you were doing, but yeah, there you go.
It's beets.
It's beets. Oh,
I
good
didn't
for
even notice it.
That's okay. You still had a smile on your face. I let people show up the way they want to show up because nothing wrong with the way people show up. Okay, there. See, now all of a sudden I just felt something shift. Whoa. You kind of felt that. I don't know where you felt it, but I felt it go right from the right side of my brain down to my tailbone.
Yeah, I could see that.
So now, can you get to the gallbladder on the right for me?
Okay.
So what that means, you're going to go to the right leg. You're going to follow your pinky toe up, and it's right there in front of the ankle bone. And we just want you to. I'm going to ask, do you need a magnet? No, just rub, just rub, just rub, just rub. So what happens is the gallbladder is that this is like where it first meets energy. So when somebody comes at you, which we're going to learn in tribal, is that energy comes at you. It's like the heat of the moment. Like you're in your good space, and then they come in with this, and you have to. Okay, so the gallbladder then pays the price, especially if you absorb that energy instead of deflect or make it drop right there. There. Now I can feel something going on in your shoulder. Okay. Now that's way better. So when you're thinking about what someone said, how annoying is it now? I can see a little bit of it, but can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it's reduced.
Okay, so what I want you to do is that now I want you to just take and rub right here, because see, when they said it, they wanted to take your power away without realizing it. This went down, this went down, and it made you more vulnerable. So we're just kind of rubbing it, bringing it back up, connecting. Not even corrected the pole inside. That's good. That's what I wanted. Let's just see where you're at. That's good. All right, now we're going to talk about how and why did you take and person said something. You don't have to tell no details at all. Make sure you don't say anybody's name. But if there is a particular statement that you can share or whatever, you can type it in or you can tell me out loud. That's up to you. But what happened is that what I can see is you instantaneously lost power. Gone. It went that quick. It went that quick. When I began to see that, I noticed that you went into self-preservation. The only thing is about when I see you go into self-preservation, I watch the brain. I watch the brain do something in particular. And what happened is that that's not good. Oh, that's not. Is it a common thing said?
What ended up happening is that there was something done, and then somebody went off, and it was said, and I'm like, that's stuck. That is stuck.
Because they threw the energy. It's the expanded importance of self. And when you heard that, you're like, uncalled for.
Yeah. Well,
Uncalled.
I tried to say something earlier and about something, and then somebody snapped, and
their brain wave is that they're disconnected. They're not into that heart-brain coherence. But the thing is that, you absorbed it, which means you took it personal. And you're like, I'm beginning to become aware that when you're in a program, you say stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're tired of it now. Because you don't feel like you're supposed to be, I don't know what kind of relationship this is, but you're like, gotcha. Okay. But you're also wondering, should I continue?
Yep.
Okay. And the thing is that's what I wondered. Okay. And so notice with your heart, you have experienced this type when you were younger. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not. Okay, you have. And so your heart's saying, well, I love them. Not as much as I recognize, and it feels familiar and comfortable that this is my relationship because this is what I had. Oh, therefore I'm in love. This is my type of person, da di da di da, whatever, da da da, however it is in friendship, relationships, lovers, family, whatever it is. But you're going to go, whoa, why do I have to have this familiar? Why? Because this familiarity always comes with a set of pain towards me,
Mm-hmm.
set of judgments towards me. So now what's happening is I'm looking at how it's, they say this with no regard, but it's a command to you for you to go weak. It's a command.
Mm-hmm. I can
And
definitely see that.
okay, so that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. We got a few minutes. We're going to have you do your best to do left wrist, third position deep. Okay, L3D. And we're going to have you feel that it's not a command as much as it's a demand. Back off, shut up, sit down. They have to
Mm-hmm.
control the fight because they're coming up with the heat. They don't want to fight as it is, but they're going to win the fight because that's what they're supposed to do. And oh, my battery is dying. I need to go switch computer. Hold on, give me 1 second. You have to recharge. And if they recharge by taking your energy field, they've won.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, but I don't want to do this anymore. Which makes perfect sense. I don't want to do this anymore. But this is what builds up to break up something, whether it's family, friends, relations, whatever it is. You're like, I'm done. I don't need this. Now, you thought that as a kid, but you can't as an adult because, hey, but what you're doing is you're healing up. For you, it's like, I'm supposed to be weak. It's a demand. And if I don't back down, then they're going to see, you know exactly where it's going. That's what I want you to think. That's your thing. Now, you understand that her body, she had a stroke when she's a kid, so she's not able to do the putting the hand on the head and the wrist like we do. So she has put a magnet in her cap there so that we found other ways that you can still do this healing tool. So go ahead and keep holding. Notice how immediately you felt it as if you could feel the spit and you knew, and your body goes, we have to go weak. And you're like, your brain saying, don't, why?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to feel the body where the body's like, I have to do this. I'm supposed to do this. I'm, it's a program. You're going to say, body, let's take a look at that. Do we really need to? Do we really have to be fearful? Do we have to do this? I want you to really focus on the charge that you have to be weak. Now, so you can entertain yourself and get all frustrated and all this, but it's like, no, I'm going to go in here where I know it's a demand. Doesn't mean this person's good or bad. It just means I've seen this when I was a kid. I know that I'm supposed to go weak. Look at the program in the body and feel that I'm supposed to be weak. Again, you're supposed to distract yourself and say, that's wrong, fight, fight, fight. But you're like, no, I don't want to do this automatic program. There you go. Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel it. I know you can. You're like,
Oh.
I'm watching all the times you're like, here we go again. Here we go again. And it was required for you to continue to get their love when you were little.
Mm-hmm.
And you okay now that you don't have to lose yourself in order to receive whatever it is, love, family, or friends. You know you deserve more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the question is that can you look at that charge that you're supposed to be weak in order to make peace or to show them what they need so that they'll shut up? Because it does hurt now, because what you're going to do is you're also going to feel how it hurts to constantly put up with. And you realize I don't have that in me. I didn't as a kid either. Now that's another form of weakness. Not that you
Mm-hmm.
just have to show it, but it's like, oh my God, this drains me. You can feel their expanded importance of self. And you're like, at the expense of me, in the expense of me. That's your program. You're supposed to fight. You're supposed to do this. It's not how I do things. So you're just going to take your power back from them. Take your power back from them. You're going to just take and put that power back into your where you feel weak. And you're like, no, you don't have to. I don't have to because I'm afraid of losing you. I don't have to believe in that fear or that worry. I'm going to take my power back. And as you take your power back, notice that when that energy comes back from the person, people, or whoever it is, you're going to put this purple heart and violet dancing flames, and you're going to start pulling in your color. What color did you give them?
I don't remember.
Okay, that's fine. Next time you go to heal this, or you have another fight, or you have whatever this person does, whatever the story is, watch if there's energy that leaves your body any place. Could be in the
Okay.
front, back, wherever. And start to recognize, oh my God, I'm losing this color. Well, you're going to call it back. Okay, you'll have more control at calling it back. But then they took something from you. You didn't just give it to them, they took something. So they knew that the fight was over, or they knew that they won, or they knew that, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
What did they get? What need did they get in order for them to calm down?
I have an idea.
As the more you discover it, in the discovery is the recovery. Yes. Oh, absolutely. So now you've got, so let's say you're going to go to bed at night and you're like, yeah, I can see this whole story of this.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? It always has to do that. It always has to be that. I want you to look at the always, and then you're going to be in bed and you're going to do this later, and you're going to hold left wrist, third position deep, and you're going to say, that's it. That's it. Because if I continue, they're going to continue. But if I stop and they have that last thing, that's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That works. Okay. But you don't have to. But notice how what you just wrote, do you want to continue that energy field? How important is it to them to do that last thing you wrote?
I would say fairly, I would
Okay.
think.
Okay. When you start observing how you can predict that, then you can start holding R3D. Okay. This is about you predicting that this is what they're going to do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they got two things. Now you don't just relate it to the person that's in front of you, you relate it to how you know it as a kid as well.
I have a feeling I know exactly.
Okay. And the thing is you can do several different healings on these points I've given you. So you can write it down and do all of that stuff. And I know you will, because I've seen you, I'm watching you grow, and I'm very proud of you for that. You're really caring about yourself. That's beautiful. Yes, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. You could also put in a little bit of, because she carries more of the,
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
okay, because she carries that. Sorry, I don't mean to put it in caps.
No, fine. I can understand that. But yeah,
Okay. Thank you for coming on. I'm so grateful that you were able to be with me, and we will see you tomorrow in Tribal. You go heal that out. You got all these different angles, and keep doing it. Keep growing. I'm proud of you. Okay. All right. Love you. Bye. So that is good. That is good. So who do we have here? Hi, Brady. How are you? Hi. Hi. All righty. So for PIFs, we have Crystal and Vicky. Is Ernie and Amanda here? Anybody else that wants their name into the, because we have three PIFs. We have three PIFs. We have three PIFs. Just checking it out, checking it out. Again, this show is important to me. Hopefully it's important to you. Remember that the only way this really exists is in keep it into existence is if your participation into sharing it into groups or to other profile or what do you call it, platforms. Subscribe and help me get the YouTube up and going, and so that I can reach more people. That would be great. So I know that Crystal's here, and I would love to do the duck race, but I don't really see Um, um, okay, so I'm looking at, wow. All right. So we may have lost a few people. That's okay. I'm glad to see you doing awesome. Well, there's Ayme. I was hoping that we could do more of that. So we have Ayme coming on, and we had I don't know if we're going to do the duck race because I don't see so anybody want their name in the because again we have 3 PIFs and we have 1 person. This lag is terrible. All right, Crystal, you hang in there. I have a feeling I'm just going to hold on to the other 2. Won't be doing the duck race today. That's what I feel. Just looking around. I feel like I'm supposed to wait a second. So hang in there, Crystal. I'm going. You're definitely going to have one. Just have to figure out what to do here. Ah, there's Amanda. So I got Crystal and Amanda. Anybody else? Anybody else? Vicky, are you still here? TP, you can play if you're still here. Ernie, anybody still here? I don't know if any who's all here. Okay. Vicky, so we got 3. We got 3. Anybody else? Anybody else? If not, we're going to take those 3 and we'll play the duck race. We'll just find out who is going to be first at getting the reading. Okay, because now, double checking. I'll open this up. Go here. There we go. Right in there, 20 seconds. Let's get the names in. So we know that we have Crystal, and we have Vicky, and we have Amanda. All right. We're going to find out who gets to come first. And to this, we're going to play a little duck race. Find out. As soon as I find the right button to push. There it is. All righty. We're going to share. And immediately always goes into that. And we are going to. All right. We have Amanda, you're wearing a clown. Vicky, you're a one-eyed, purple, spiked-haired, red. I don't know. And Crystal, you're pink with stripes. So here we go. We're going to find out which of the 3. Oh, yes, I'm doing PIFs. Morgan, I haven't seen you in a while. Don't worry. I will just give you a PIF. Glad to see you, babe. There you go. So we're going to have Vicky that's going to be first. All right, we're going to have Vicky that's going to be first. Let's see if I can add a name. Let's see if we can add a name. And we're going to put Morgan. We're going to find in which which order that it can go in. All righty, let's hit set again. So Vicky comes first. Oh, look at you guys. You're so cute. So Vicky, find out. It starts. Amanda is a police officer. Morgan, you're a green alien type thing. And Crystal, you're red. It's on YouTube. If I ever give you a free reading or any of that, you can find them on YouTube. And Amanda is just taking the lead there. Vicky, if I've ever given you a reading before, and if I haven't, then I'll give you one. And even if it was a long, long time ago, I can still give you one. So there we go. Now we're going to find out between Morgan and Crystal who is next. Who is next? So people have paid to get for other people to get a reading, and then we play it out and see who gets to have a reading, or any of this. We have Morgan sneaking through. Morgan. And then Crystal is Lynn. So we have 4 people. And let me see if I can clear that and stop it here and hang in there. So here we go. So our winners in this row is Vicky, Amanda, Morgan, and Crystal. So let me just bring on Ayme real quick, get that over with. And let's find out what's happening. And then we'll finish up the show with you guys, okay? And let's go get a link because I think Ayme is still on vacation. And see how she's participating. Oops, there we go. That. And here we go. So while I'm waiting for her to come on, see, hopefully it'll work. I'm going to ask her if she can also, let's see. Hold on here. Bring her in real quick. If you ever want to watch people, whether they're in audio or video, then you can go on YouTube and see what they look like and having them. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I am good. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Yeah, do you have your deck of cards with you?
They're out in the car.
Oh, that's okay. Why don't you tell everybody about your adventure? And you're still on your adventure, yes?
I am still on my adventure.
And here's the thing, it's better than you could have created. Yes?
Oh, absolutely.
Would you have ever done this 5 years ago?
Oh God, no, no.
All right, so you're going to tell people how healing has helped you be able to do this adventure without having to bring worry, fear, or any of that, knowing how you can expand your vision. I'm going to step out real quick and
Okay.
I'll be right back. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I started out on October 8th, and it's now what, the 19th, 20th? I don't even, it's the 20th. So I've been gone almost 2 weeks. And I would have not done this before because I was afraid. There were, whatever would have happened, could have happened, did happen type energy. But this whole trip, the people that I've met, the drive that I've had, everything has been so absolutely amazing. I've gotten to see people that I've known for years, and I now know what it's like to hug them. Had this been even 2 weeks prior, I wouldn't have done it. And the reason I say that is because there was still healings that I needed to do so that I could get to where I needed to get. And there was such a bonus surprise at the end of my journey to the East Coast. I got to go see one of my besties. And yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I got to spend time with family, and I got to meet, like, I think they're like what you would consider third cousins. There's been just so many things that have been so enlightening. And I love you too, Robyn. I've gotten to be able to hone in on this energy that is me. And I haven't worried really at all this whole trip.
Even if it did come up, you had fast turnaround times.
Yeah. Like last night.
Did you get fast turnaround times? What are those?
That from coming from a complete meltdown to back to homeostasis within a certain amount of time.
And how did
what?
you think it through? How did you do it?
I held point, I rubbed point, I tapped.
Good, 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 good.
Because last night I had a hotel in Columbus, Ohio, and it was one where the door went to the outside, but there was no like latch, like a key, like a chain latch
Okay.
on that door. And a part of me freaked out.
Yes.
And I pretty much lost my shit.
But it takes care.
But I started tapping. I'm like, I suck the energy from the earth. I'm tapping, I'm rubbing points, I connected to Robyn, I connected to you, and between the three of us, I got back to me and was able to sleep. And then at like 2:30 in the morning, like the house phone or the room phone rang.
Uh,
And I'm like, what the hell? And the only thing that I can think of is I had YouTube playing with a frequency. And I don't know if the walls are paper thin or what,
Did
but
you call or did you answer it?
I answered it, but I can't hear a
Oh,
landline with my hearing aids anymore.
I gotcha.
So I answered it and I said what, and I could barely hear what they were saying. So I hung up. I had no idea. And then so I took it off the hook and forgot that when you do that, I go nah, 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 nah. So then I just unplugged the damn thing. I went back to bed. And then I woke up at like 7 or like 6:30 this morning, and I was out, gone, and got out of
Crap.
there traveling. And the way GPS was taking me, the the road was like completely blocked off by cops. And I'm like, what happened? And so they had me so I turned a certain direction, and it was like I was going around in a circle. I could not get out. So I
Oh,
felt like a trapped rat. And then I'm like, okay, thank you, Spirit. Help me get out of here so I can get to here. And all of a sudden there appeared this car, and oh, I followed him out and we got out.
thank you, Spirit. Thank you. But your adventure, so you got to hear how she would have just lived in her bubble, been complacent, not moved forward, and planning that, oh no, no, her comfort zone. But because she's healed, all these different programs do not have to. These belief systems, these assumptions, these fears don't have to control you. And all of a sudden you'll start creating life better and creating an adventure that you're protected and you're guided and you're giving protection and whatever it is along the way. And some of the big thing is that this girl wouldn't have never receive.
Mm-mm. No,
If
and I have
or any of
received,
that stuff, it'd be like, oh God, I feel awful. But she's healed a lot. She's healed a lot. And she's
I
able
have received so many blessings along the way that it's like, wow,
better than you could ever create.
absolutely. It's mind boggling, not blowing, but mind boggling. It's like I really truly am loved.
Yes, you are. And your
And
inner world creates a healthy outer world.
it's just been this most amazing journey. I wish I would have gotten more time to spend in Pennsylvania.
Hey, next time,
Next
whether you
time, absolutely.
fly or whatever it is. But just
Yes, I
like,
will definitely fly out next time.
well, see, for me, when we go traveling, we know that we can go back. We don't have to see it all. We can go back. We can
Yep,
enjoy do things. And so, you just find a different route. All right. Ha, you've paid, you've won, but we'll see where it goes. How would you like me to help you?
dig in.
Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is your body's like going, oh my God. Oh my God, I'm out of my routine. Oh my God. So the body is doing really good, but at the same time, the body is saying OMG. So what thing that it wants to do is notice that your SI joints, we're going to talk about your SI joints.
Mhm.
These SI joints, now it's making my ear ring. I literally am hearing really loud.
Yeah, they're really loud.
Okay, because this is really loud and can be distracting. And somehow these two together, and I hear the word absurd, but I'm circling the word around false self-assuredness. So I'm not sure what the combination of what absurd and false self-assuredness is, but what happens is that your body is saying, I can't, and you got to the point where you're like, I can spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, and I can do this. And you're like, I can do this. But the physical body's been going, no, you can't, even to the point where you broke your big toe.
I'm not sure it broke.
Okay. You hurt it, damaged it,
Heard it. Yeah.
something to the big toe. And metaphysically, the big toe represented, will you follow through?
Mm-hmm.
And you can explore that. You can look at how in the past you were never allowed to follow through, or you had and everything would fail, however it is, but spirit has had your back the whole darn time. Your physical body says, I'm supposed to not, I'm breaking all my routines. I'm not supposed to follow through. So there will be a certain amount of sabotage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your ear ringing, your body being excessively tired. Granted, you just drove like a long time.
I've been on the road for about in the last 2 days, about 16 hours, something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Um, just got a warning that says you're, however I'm behaving on TikTok is against the rules. Um, TikTok should allow the notice is unclear. I'm not sure why I'm got this restriction. Let's see. I'm gonna hit this again. Last time it said that I accepted. I didn't accept it. So we'll see what happens. So you have warnings that can be very severe. You could scare you. They taking your ability to do what you want away from you. You can react in fear, or you can say, okay, thank you, spirit. This is what we're going to do. And that's where you've been doing. You're like, thank you, spirit. So the physical body, we're looking at the SI joints. And what they want you to do is notice that people have expanded importance of self. Again, we're going to be talking heavily on this and tribal. Okay. So your body has, I have all of these demands, all from people, the environment, the pressure. And so the body says yes. And so what it does is it takes the SI joints and it shifts them out. Okay. So I'm looking at how they're not, because if you ever look at this SI joint, they're not smooth. They're kind of jagged. Everything's like.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying if you go to tap on either the left or the right, depending on whichever you want to do first, if you were to rub on them, tap on them, and do everything, you need to then feel the compulsion that you better behave. You better show up. And you are not supposed to be this rebel. Ooh, as soon as I said that, your 16-year-old self came up and goes, so what was your father's job at that time at 16?
He was driving bus. He was barber and I believe ambulance driver still.
Oh my gosh. When did he become a police officer?
He was a cop when I was little.
Okay. Okay. So that's interesting. He has to have all these jobs in order to support, or he has to all these jobs to,
Just it, I don't think it was because like the ambulance was voluntary. Barbering was his main, but also the bus I think was the most income. So
gotcha. So the
yeah.
reason I asked because of the epigenetics is I have to run from something. Oh, I love the kitty jacket. Oh,
Isn't that cool? I got that from Robyn. And there's a kitty on the back as well.
oh my God, I so love that. It's so perfect.
Absolutely love it.
Oh, that's beautiful. I
It
love
is
it.
so toasty.
Yes. But the epigenetics that you're supposed to do and carry forward, that's the emotions from the father side. is that you're supposed to be bitter, disappointed, and angry.
Yep, that was my dad.
Now, the epigenetics, the reason that your body, and this has to do with the SI joint. So when you're driving, have you found more people that are idiot drivers or more disappointed? Okay. Okay. So even if you even got to that point, so you're driving along, if you're unaware that your governing meridian went down or your center went down, and if it goes down when you're driving, you're going to start absorbing all of the drivers behind you, around you, without realizing you're doing so.
Yeah, I did that. I don't remember what day it was, but it was like all of those words started playing. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can totally see this. And part of the epigenetics is that I'm supposed to be this. And so the body is actually begrudgingly supporting you in your adventure. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at both SI joints. So what you do is you're going to rub there. And the main thing that you're going to think about is I'm supposed to obsess. Okay. And then after you rub those points, SI, you keep doing that and breathe in a couple times and out. I'm supposed to obsess. That's who I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be hair triggered and I'm supposed to obsess.
I want to spin.
Okay. Open your eyes if necessary. Get your brain to connect with your reality, even though the body is trying to say, no, this is who we're supposed to be. And because you're supposed to spin out, you're supposed to be angry, you're supposed to go there. Very good, very good. Now we're going to look at, let's see, Spirit wants you to do what? Interesting. It's rather the pendulum it's going like all over the place. I'm like, what? All right, so the first thing we want to do is that you have to go into I have to behave this way. So you're going to go down to the liver. We're just going to go down to the liver on the right side and use a magnet, and then you're going to rub. So she knows the point right there.
Got a magnet.
Oh, good.
I just gotta find it though.
Okay, okay. And really, okay, I gotta, while you're doing that, I have to figure out what adventure are they having me look at? They're looking at preservation, frequency G, and your gut's response to it. Your will is not your will. Your will is supposed to be the reaction. That's how you survive. Supposed to overreact. You're supposed to react.
Both, right?
No, just the right. Now I'm looking at this mental thing that they would do when you were growing up that would keep you around the homestead, make you behave, keep you safe. And some of this brainwashing was a lie. Their fears, their worries. To the point where you had to emotionally repress any desires that you may have. As long as you start to realize, oh, I'm insecure. I can't let anybody see me. I can't do this. I can't do that. Did you get attacked by a girl or were you the bully? Ooh, okay, I'm looking at something here because you're supposed to overcompensate and you're supposed to. Oh, this is about you winning a fight. Hold on. When you were not at home, where you lost fights, where you could be out, you could win fights if you were upset or. I'm looking at the mental game. You just brought up one. All right, go back and touch the SI joints, rub both of those again. Starts to breathe like this. And if you want to share with me, you can, or you can type it in, however you choose to do so. But that was very interesting.
So when I was in 6th grade, we had like it was I don't remember what it's called, but we had flags that we would put down so that the kids could cross the street.
Oh.
And I live close enough to school that I would bring my flag home and then bring it back in the morning. And I was being bullied by one of the kids at that would lived pretty close to me. It was a classmate, and I whopped him with the stick.
Okay. Now you're going to stop that and you're going to go up to C1 because your tailbone, your SI joints and your C1 are out of alignment. So you're going to tap that back and forth, tap that back and forth. As you begin to do that, I want you then to go, you were supposed to regret it. Did you regret it or did you revel in it?
No, I did regret it.
Immediately, or were you forced by your parents to regret it?
No, I was forced by my sixth grade teacher to regret it.
Okay, so I got the wrong parental aspect. So I want you to feel, and part of you is like, I don't regret it, but I have, but it was instilled in you. It was instilled in you. So now what you're going to do again, you're going to go down, but this time you're going to go down to T9. You can reach that. You can reach that. Get in there and reach that. It's more of like the small part, round part, just below. Yeah, there you go. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, it's really tight.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Okay. So you're going to tap that out. You're going to tap into that. What am I hearing? I'm hearing that you've been working on something called this chase. Okay.
Mhm.
So the chase. And so when you're done, you can take and stop tapping. And anytime you finish, you feel like you're good. And notice that the chase is that you were forced to emotionally repress as a coping tool.
Mhm.
And you're like, but I don't want to emotionally repress. I want to feel it. I want to heal it out. But the emotionally repressed was that you're supposed to, the pressure to be what they wanted.
Mhm.
Because after you got that guilt, you wanted to do it again.
Mhm.
Okay. Something you wanted to do again. But you had to show because she's watching. So you're like, um, hmm. And you did really good. You did really good. But what happened from what I can feel is you shoved it down into your female parts.
Okay, that makes sense.
Um, it's like you're a girl. You shouldn't act that way. It's like they had to use the gender mark on you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Makes
So
sense.
you were supposed to take the blame. You caused that person to do that to you.
I
Did you?
just
Oh, I think she's tired.
just a little bit.
Okay. All right. So you're going to explore that in your dreams and however you're going to do that. So you're going to make sure that when you fall asleep, it's R3S. Okay. R3S. And that is that you're supposed to take the blame because the gender or however that goes. And you don't have to. All right, we're going to let you go so you can get some sleep, and I'm going to go on to do the next part. And thank you so much for participating and helping out and doing everything while you're on vacation. We appreciate that very much. Okay.
I
All
wouldn't miss
right.
it. I wouldn't miss it, Brenda.
Oh, I appreciate it so much. Yeah, it
Thank
makes
you.
me
I
want to
love
keep.
you.
I love you too.
The next trip, the next big hug is you.
Good. I'm ready. I'm ready. All right. I'll talk to you later. I'll give you a hug now. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, hi, Melody. How are you? How are you? Okay, so we're gonna take and so Vicky, Amanda, Morgan, and Crystal. So if you want me to answer a specific question, do so. Otherwise, Spirit is going to do the talking. Okay, so let's get this into play. And so just make sure you're here, Vicky. Let me know. uh, Melody, pink hearts, pink hearts. So Morgan's here. She's got her question. Looking, I don't see Vicky. Vicky, that's on TikTok. Vicky on TikTok. There she is. Okay. So Amanda, be ready. And Morgan's got her question, and Crystal, be ready. All right. So as we look, Vicky, la 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 la, meaning you're going around your daily life, you're doing your certain things, and they're showing me there's a certain amount of mental anguish. It's a way of constantly thinking in a certain way. Okay, it's a certain way. I says, is this incited by someone speaking? They go, this is about having to take action. I have to give up something in order to have. I have to do this. I gotta do that. And okay, so it's like instead of saying thank you, Spirit, to receive, to be able to have this and that, do you feel like sometimes you have to do this or that? You have to give up one thing to have the other. Okay, good night. So, Vicky, so is it, do you understand what I'm saying? Is there a certain amount of, so do you have to, this feels like it's a blueprint. It feels like an obsession. It feels like this is what you had with your family. Does that make any sense, Vicky? Okay, because what I'm hearing is that because okay, she said yes. Okay, so it's like this is part of the helplessness. This is the way you're supposed to think. This is the way you're supposed to always be the reaction. You're always supposed to be this. Yes, hashtag thank you, Spirit. So what I want you to do is that part of you is going to go right wrist first position soft. You're going to take what I said and you're going to write it down and you're going to measure it and you're going to observe it and you're going to look at it from every angle. And right wrist first position soft, okay? So that you can go, okay, and you're really going to dive into this. I have to be this reaction. I have to think as this reaction. I have to do, and it can be very helpless. It's a very helpless feeling. That's what they want you to feel is like, the charge is this, and you can't do anything else. And what happens is it stops you from receiving anything, any other information. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to look at Amanda. Amanda here. I'm gonna wait until she appears. I don't see her. All right, Morgan. Morgan asked her question. She says, can I ask about what's been happening today? I have been having a few spiritual experiences. I probably can't explain all of them here. I believe also had a dream I was kind of aware in. So ask, remember, one question you can ask about today. If I ask Spirit, can you sum up why does all of these events, why is this all happening? Why is her inner world creating this outer world? And Morgan, what I'm hearing is that there's a part of you that is learning about yourself. Where does my happy go? How do I create happiness? Or how do I be happiness? And so when you look at what's happening in the outside, you want it to make sense, but sometimes it's not about making sense. So when you see some spiritual events happening, is your body physically prepared? Have you been here before? How do you know how to react, and what is the emotions that you're supposed to have to react? And so you're learning, part of your path is that you're learning about how to feel and what are emotions and what are charges. And as you begin to notice that when you have certain experiences, are these spiritual experiences good or indifferent? Good, bad, or indifferent? You tell me. Okay. So Morgan, I'm seeing that there's a certain amount of so you have been taught so from what I can see is whether it's a teacher or a parent or whatever, they do reward system. Did you have reward systems? Oh, there she is, Amanda. Okay, I didn't mean to jump over you, just didn't see you. A reward system. Okay. This reward system has confused you because it's like they know if you give you a reward, then you'll do this. So you've been trained that if you do this, you get a reward, and you have been on your own doing things without receiving reward. Well, you have to find what type of reward. None of them scared me. Good, good. notice that instead of having the supernatural and it's like, okay, supernatural and it's supposed to be spooky, but if you learn that, if you have spirit or that you're learning your gifts or you're learning, you can be supported. And you don't, and the reward itself is knowing that you are growing. You know, it doesn't have to always look a certain way. And it is, call it, because again, you're not, as you're doing things on your own, you're not going to be having breadcrumbs or rewards to pull you. You have to figure out a way that I've got this to see greater than your limitations. And when you see supernatural things or things like this, spirit can guide you to know that, hey, we're here to protect you. Okay. So what are you going to do? Since you've never been here before, you're not sure how to react. And this is the thing. How did you react? She said, I reacted not scared. Good. And you say, thank you, Spirit. Help me develop a little bit more who I'm supposed to be, how I'm supposed to react, how I'm supposed to do things. But notice that Spirit is there to guide you so that you can do things more on your own. You can be guided. You can be there. You can support yourself. And the old way was to judge it and to be upset by it and to behave that you're not. No, you're experiencing something and you don't know how you're supposed to react to it. And that is where all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, I'm not supposed, I can actually do this without having to be scared. I can do this without having to be punished, or I don't have to. So you're starting to feel really good. And that's good. You don't have to go into old things. I said, is there anything in particular that you would like her to address? Is that just notice if you start to feel awkward, or you start to feel a little timid, don't judge it. Just say, thank you, Spirit. And if you start to feel any of those things, you can say, okay, you know what? I know that if I'm not in love or this or better, or if I have this awkwardness, if I can start recognizing where I put the limitations on to be able to move out, to do my next adventure, it starts with us feeling like a little timid because there's how you were trained with being rewarded to keep moving forward. Right wrist, second position, deep. Okay. No, you're being guided, but it's your thinking of like, okay, it's got to be something scary, it's got to be something supernatural. But if you say, and you really just notice that love is being present, just say, thank you, Spirit. You're showing me you're present, or you don't have to read and invest in too much more. Okay. All right. So Miss Amanda, thank you very much for being present. And again, Crystal, you're after that. So Amanda. Oh, here we go. Have you been trying to make a decision lately about something? It's like you're on the precipice of wanting to see something. So you're looking at one perspective, and you're so ready to start seeing the other perspective to go, oh, to grow. You're on the verge of growing on something. It's something to do with a decision. So have you made, are you just stuck in between where you're indecisive, Miss Amanda? Because what I'm feeling is that as they get older, they won't be there for you, or they won't be there for you, or if I do this, then I won't be there for them. Something about how I wrote the rules. I'm always supposed to be there for people, or they're always supposed to be there for me. There's some type of restricted. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Amanda? Because if you were to choose more for you or less control and more of trusting, that might be a big step for you. But I feel you also are ready to see something where you can let go of certain control. No worries. Exactly. And they're telling me that the construction of how your brain was like, oh, they see me as an object, or I see them as an object where you can't have empathy, or you can't have love, or you can't have freedom to do. You're starting to go, wait a minute. I have to fall, they have to fall. We don't have to cover all the bases. But my brain says I got to cover all the bases. The brain says I have to. And then this is where you can start calming yourself down. Right wrist, third position, small, soft. You can sit there and go, oh, okay. And you really can hold how it's like, I can predict, oh, no, I need to heal that. I got to duress. No, I can heal that. Oh, I got to control. Remove the charges off of each one so that when you start to look, you're going to see how it falls into a natural, healthy order in the quantum field. And I think you are beginning to be ready, more ready for that, because you're ready to have less. Have you started meditating? I know you physically move a lot, but have you meditated? You might want to incorporate breathing to push energy up the spine to help with the Kundalini or with just the energy of the spine in the first place. Okay. You let me know. You let me know. Now, Miss Crystal. I'm going to make sure you didn't write me or anything. So let me just double check. Said she's fine. All righty. I feel like you're actually a little bit more happier these days. Miss Crystal, you here? See what screen she's on. Where is she at? Sure. Again, thank you everybody for sharing while I'm waiting to find out where Crystal is. Thank you. This show only exists because you want it in play, and that means that you've shared it and that new people come and we get it out there, because I'm asking Spirit what I'm supposed to do. I mean, I've already taken away a Thursday show, Thursday show, and I feel funny not having it. That's okay. But at the same time, there we go. But at the same time, I'm supposed to build something else in. There she is. And if you really want me to keep growing and help healing and everything with you, then I need support. Again, we want to get the likes up on YouTube. Not the likes, the not subscription. What do you call it? Subscribe. Yeah, subscribe. Crystal. I feel like you're much happier these days. And if, I'm looking at how it's okay. So it's like, instead of responding in a negative way or any of that stuff, I feel like you kind of are like, oh, I'm a little bit more happier. Has anybody noticed? Your energy field is like, I feel safe, and yet I don't feel safe. I feel safe, and yet I don't feel safe. So you have some old alarm things, but at the same time, you're starting to feel safer, and people are like, oh, they're noticing. So your body is saying that I don't have to bring the heat. They don't have to bring the heat, as in fighting, and I can be more me. Yes, and I feel like a lot of tests are throwing at me. Okay, so so now Amanda, I'll get you that. Oh, so Crystal, you are okay. So we need to get you to be more present then. Because if you're sitting inside your program and you're thinking and observing, I'm watching the body, how it feels like it feels a little bit more safer. But if you're not connecting with that, I think you're trying to say to yourself, you need to tune in a little bit more, because the body needs and wants to feel safe in order to create a more healthy environment for you inside the body instead of aches and pains. But there's always a suspicion, You got it? He's got this suspicion. So Crystal, what I'd like you to do is, if since she's not connecting to what I'm saying on that, what should we have her do? And they said, notice that the main thing is do you fear other people's judgments? They're harsh, critical words. They're like, because again, I'm watching you, knowing, like in an alarm, that they're going to say something, they're going to do something. Does this make sense? Your body is like, the body says, I need to run. I'm constantly on the run. And your spirit is saying, we got to get that to calm down. And you're like, but I'm not letting go of all of these aches and pains I had in the past. I'm not letting it go because it protects me. And I don't have to exert my power. I don't have to fight back. What I want you to begin to become aware of, do you feel that it's there? This is what I want you to look at. It's there. And you're looking at it. Yeah. They're watching me, they're observing me, they're critical of me, if you can just kinda, okay. How can you learn to observe yourself? How can you learn to observe yourself? First, you need to know whether you're thinking or you're being present. If you're thinking about them, you're going to be more them, and you're going to lose yourself even more. So I'd like you to say, I am, and say your name and your age, lift your hand off, and do that at least 3 times, okay, or 10. If you catch yourself having a conversation with somebody and all of a sudden you become them, I need you to become you. I need you to understand that you need to become more your 5%, the more love part of you, the more where you're not thinking, but you're being present. And can you do present skills? Like, oh, as I'm drinking my, whatever you're drinking, you're like, oh, I can taste this. It's hot or it's cold. I can feel it going down. I'm being present of what I'm saying. I'm being present, not to police yourself, but you're being present. Okay. Your body needs you at this point. So you're going to have to learn that. Like, there's different things you can do as skills for that. Start Googling how to be present. So Amanda says, yes, and I feel like a lot of tests have been thrown at me. And she's, oh my God, yes. I'm always supposed to be there for my kids and my husband. But I feel like the planets are lining up that says, you're supposed to be more for yourself. You train them that you're supposed to be there. You have a deep belief system that you need to kick out that says you're supposed to be there for them. But you're not meant to. You're supposed to, they need to learn to fly. You need to kick them out of the nest in a way. They need to have the ability. You had a bunch of 2s and 5s there. You missed it, but all these 2s and 5s will get you. She says, R3S, I feel like I'm gonna be living with that point. I imagine, and focus on meditation. Yes, because I think the new you is starting to rise, and you're like, but I carved this out. I got to carve something new. And if I do something new, then how do I handle that when they rebuke it or they disagree with it? And then I come into that alignment. And I would say to you, R3S, but I also would say to you one more thing, R2S, because you got to stop making yourself irrelevant. That's because I had to make you wait. I threw you out of turn, but that's okay. You're good. That's why I gave her a little extra. It was not favoritism. It's just balancing out the energy. Thank you for the blue hearts. I love you too. All right. We've had a great show today. I may do a show tomorrow or maybe other week. I don't know. I'm still developing about what I could do. Not sure. Not sure how I'm going to do it. I just know that I'm listening to spirit. Maybe, but again, help me get the likes up, help me get YouTube up. Without you, there's no reason to keep doing this. I didn't need to come out of the woodwork. I could have just done it here, but I need you. You need me. And we're gonna work this together as a team. So hashtag thank you, spirit. Hashtag resolve to evolve. Hashtag you can heal this. Hashtag when in doubt, heal it out. Hashtag don't waste it, paste it. There's so many more. Heal instead of deal, okay? Just literally start putting in new information. You can do this. Now, you're already blessed and you're already whole, so stay blessed and happy healing.